Habari ya asubuhi, mi niko hapa na ndugu yangu mzalendo, wacha nimpatie nafasi asalimie Wakenya.
Habari zenyu wa Kenya, habari ya asubuhi popote pale mlipo. Mimi ni kama kawaida mzalendo. Nashukuru sana ndugu yangu brother Ben kunialika tena. Hii Ijumaa ni Ijumaa ama ni
Leo
siku gani?
Jumamosi bana.
Leo ni siku Jumamosi. Huko kwenyu ni Jumamosi. Huko kwenyu ni Jumamosi. Huku
Eh,
kwetu,
ni Alhamis.
Alhamdulillah, tunashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu kwa
Mm,
weka hai mpaka siku ya leo, ingawaje
ehe,
leo tuliamka na baridi tele,
mm.
baridi tele, hata huwezi fanya kazi chochote. Ah,
Unajua, um, mara mingi watu huwa wanatamani sana kukuja pahali huko, labda akuwe na apate pia kuonja hiyo baridi ambao wewe unazungumzia.
ni ile watu wengi sana ni ile tamaa ya kuja ng'ambo ama kwenda ughaibuni.
Ughaibuni.
So
Mhm.
hiyo nafsi wajapata, lakini wakipata hiyo nafsi unaona tu ni kitu ya kawaida. Na bila shaka watu wa huku pia kuna changamoto mingi
Mm,
mingi zaidi kushinda kule nyumbani. Kuna vitu tunatamani tu tungekuwa nazo huku,
mm,
basi tungekuwa na furaha tele na tunaishi katika environment mzuri, katika mazingira mazuri.
mm.
So, kuna tofauti ya
Mm,
kuwa ng'ambo eh, na kuwa kule nyumbani. Ukiwa kule nyumbani kuna marafiki
mm,
kuna familia kuna vyakula mingi mingi zile wanaweza kula kuna kucheka na pia kuna ile ustaarabu, ile starehe,
mm.
ile huku ng'ambo hatupati. Huku ni
Okay.
kazi tu, kazi tu,
Kazi baada ya kazi.
unafanya kazi kama mtumwa.
Eh,
Mm.
unafanya kazi kama mtumwa si kwa sababu uko kwa nchi geni. Unajua ukiwa katika nchi ambapo haukuzaliwa, uko nchi geni, we ni mtumwa tu.
Unajua mara mingi ndio tunakujaga hapa Afrika na Brother Ben Media
Mm,
kuwaeleza wananchi jinsi ya kupiga kura vizuri, ndio kuposa wale Wakenya wote ama watu wale wa huku nchi za nje waweze
mm,
kurudi nyumbani wakasaidie uchumi wa nchi. Na pia
mm,
hii mazingira tuko tumeona vitu mingi zile tunaweza peleka kule nyumbani na ikafaidi Wakenya wengi wengi kabisa. Eh,
mhm,
Mfumo wa kisiasa na pia utaratibu wa kupiga kura na na viongozi wale tunateua, na pia
mm,
wananchi wajue haki zao. Unaona, haki zao. Hatuwezi kuwa tu katika nchi ambayo tunaamka asubuhi kama ng'ombe
mhm,
na tunarudi tena zizini bila kujua tunaelekea wapi. Unaona, lazima tuwe na ushauri katika mambo ambayo yanaendelea katika serikali ya Kenya,
mhm,
na pia tuchangie. Hakuna wakati wa kukaa katikati ama kukaa to sit on the fence eh,
mm.
kuangalia tu mambo yakitendeka. Wewe utaulizwa na wajukuu wako, wakati huu wote wewe ulifanya nini?
Ulifanya nini? Mm,
Mkidhulumiwa. Eh, Dhuluma tu haitoki na rais wa Kenya. Dhuluma inatoka
mm,
na ule kiongozi wako wa chini kabisa, wa kiongozi
mhm,
wa wodi hadi kiongozi wa bunge mpaka
mm,
kule watendekazi wale women rep. Hata wale jamaa wanafanya katika idara za serikali wanafanya kazi
mm,
vizuri. Ukiangalia watu watosha ushuru,
Mhm.
wanatosha watu ushuru, na hiyo ushuru inafanya kazi. So kuna mambo mingi sana ya uongozi tunaangalia na tunazingatia, tuwe na uongozi bora katika hizi
Mhm.
siku zijazo, haswa huko Kenya na pande
Okay.
mingi za Afrika. Mm.
Okay, asante sana kakangu. Mimi nataka kujua mtazamo wako kwa sababu unajua rais wa Kenya Mheshimiwa William Ruto ako Amerikani na
Mm.
alipata nafasi kuingia pale katika White House na vile vile mstaafu Rais Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta pia alikuwepo kule, alichomokea tu pale.
Mm.
Lakini unajua walikuwa wanaweka ama wanatia saini ile inaitwa Washington Accord,
Mhm.
na ni ile ilikuwa inakuwa kuenda kuleta amani nchini Kongo na Rwanda. Lakini hao marais wawili nasema kwamba wa
Mm.
Rwanda na wa Kongo wakati walikuwa wanatia saini yale mkataba
Mm.
hawakupata kusalimiana, sikuona wakisalimiana. Walikaa pembeni wakaonesha tu lakini hawakusalimiana. Na wanasema kwamba unajua kwamba hii vita imechukua takriban miaka 30 na sasa
Mm.
Rais Trump amesema kwamba anataka kuitengeneza, lakini wale ambao wasema kwamba washikadau, wale ambao hii kitu inawahusisha sana, wakati walikuwa wanatia saini hawakusalimiana. Unaona
Mm.
kwamba hiyo kutosalimiana inaonesha pengo fulani ama inaonesha labda kuna jambo fulani ambapo hawakusikilizana?
Mm. Wajua hii vita kati ya Kongo na Rwanda ni vita ambayo imeanza kitambo sana. Na ukae
Mm.
ukijua tena kitu moja, watu wengi sana wajui hawa wa Kongo na wa Rwanda ni jamii moja.
Mhm.
Watu wajui hivyo, ni majamii moja kabisa. Kuna lile kabila la huyu rais wa Rwanda anatoka kabila gani? Yeye ni Mhutu ama yeye ni Mtutsi? Nachanganyikiwa hapo kidogo,
Mm. Mimi
sijui.
sina habari kabisa.
Either yeye ni Mutsi ama ni Mtutsi,
Aha.
ndakwambia. Lakini kuna kabila ya Watutsi, wale
Mhm.
walikwenda katika ile sehemu ya Kongo, wanatoka huko, ukoo
Mhm.
wao unatoka huko. Ni kama kuongea juu ya wale Wajaluo wa Kenya na
Mhm.
wale Waacholi kutoka kule Uganda, na tena
Mhm.
kuongea na wale Wajaluo, ukiona Luo Nation vile wako kila mahali.
Mhm.
So hawa Watutsi wako kule Kongo, yeah,
Mhm.
na pia wako kule Uganda. Ndio
Yeah.
unaona Museveni ako kwa hii vita,
Mhm.
nani huyu Kagame yuko kwa hii vita, kwa
Mhm.
sababu kuna jamii moja yao wale walitoroka, wale
Mhm.
walifukuzwa katika ile serikali ile masaka,
Mhm.
ilikuwa ni Wahutu ama ni Watutsi ndio walikuwa masaka. Nani
Mhm.
ndio waliuawa wengi sana, ni Watutsi ama ni
Mhm.
Wahutu? Oh my God,
Mhm.
Ben, tunasahau hizi historia. Kwa nini? Ni Watutsi ama ni Wahutu waliuawa?
Mhm.
So hebu niangalilie hapo. So
Nakuangalilia.
wale waliuawa zaidi pale,
Mhm.
walitoroka wakaenda kwao kwa wale mandugu zao wale wako
Kongo.
Kongo,
Mhm.
na zile zilikuwa ni rebel movements, tena wakaanza kujiunga polepole. Sasa huyu Kagame ameogopa sana kuwa wale jamaa watakuja kuwa jeshi tena kuja kupindua
Mhm.
serikali yake. So
Mhm.
Kagame anapigana na nchi ya Kongo kwa sababu ya kuhost wale rebel walikimbia kule, na wale
Mhm.
rebel walikuwa wanakimbia kwao, huko ndio kwao.
Kwa
Now serikali ya Kongo wanaona hao kuwa wametoka ile nchi jirani na hao si wa Kongo halisi. Unanielewa?
Nakuelewa.
Wao si wa Kongo halisi. So hiyo vita imekuwa ikiendelea hivyo, na bila shaka ni mambo ambayo itaendelea kwa muda bila suluhisho kamili. Lakini niliona vile walikuja hapa au viongozi wawili, inamaanisha kuwa serikali ya Kongo na ile ya Rwanda hawatapigana, lakini ile ukweli ni wa mambo ni serikali ya Rwanda inapigana na serikali ya Kongo ili host wale rebels walitoka kule Rwanda na wakaingia katika jeshi la Kongo. So hiyo ndio sababu anaitwaje, Kagame ameingilia hiyo vita sana, na pia kuna rasilimali pale. Kuna rasilimali, kuna dhahabu, kuna nini,
kuna dhahabu, kuna
kuna
almasi,
cobalt, kuna kila kitu pale. Nchi ya Kongo ndio nchi tajiri katika Afrika mzima na
ulimwengu,
katika
si Afrika, ulimwengu.
ulimwengu iko na minerals mingi sana, lakini haiwasaidii wa Kongo, na tena ndio nchi maskini zaidi. Na ule kiongozi wa Kongo ule Kabila yuko Kenya, nafikiri anaishi Kenya kule, ni Kenya na Dubai, na anatakikana alihukumiwa kule Kongo, na hakuna mashtaka
ya
ya
kujibu.
kujibu. Yeah.
Okay, asante sana ndugu yangu. Thank you so much Mzalendo for that, and let me take this opportunity to say to our good friend here, Tomasa Colon Morales. Jina yake, it's a very long name, but Morales.
Yeah.
You will excuse me if I pronounce your name not in the right way. Hi, nice to meet you guys. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. This is a recap where we discuss politics of the day, especially what happened during the week, and we are always streaming in two channels, that is Africa 24 and Brother Benson Media. So if you are listening to us wherever you are, you can subscribe to those two channels, then you can get the conversation. Let me also take this opportunity to thank Father Dan. Salamu nyingi sana, asante sana. Natumai kwamba umeamuka vyema na maisha yako iko shwari. Mzalendo, there's quite a lot that has happened during the week, but we will just pick few and maybe share our views on. And one of the happenings, or one of the news that actually was top on the news, especially for me, is about, I want us to focus about the governor of Homa Bay, that is Her Excellency Governor Wanga. For quite some times, her name has been trending or has been mentioned in various political angle. And to start with, there was this escalation of power, or I would say the struggle, the power struggle between her and her deputy, that is Oyugi Magwanga. And this one came out when Oyugi Magwanga went against the party and supported an independent candidate. And from there, we saw Wanga relieved him of his duty. And even I was listening to Oyugi Magwanga today on one of the TV stations. He was saying that his office was locked on Monday, that was 1st of December. And there were goons that were planted in the compound so that would beat her, including his staff were locked out. So it tells you that there's this political differences, or there's this power that people are fighting for, especially when we look at Wanga. That is Wanga. Again, the same week, Rigathi Gachagua also accused Wanga and Junet for selling ODM immediately after the Right Honorable Prime Minister passed away. And they've already received the deposit that to sell the ODM to Ruto. We will talk about that too. The last one, which is still going on, and so many people have come out and discussing about it, is the issue of Raymond Omolo and Wanga. Actually, today I was listening to one of senior counsel, not senior counsel, but one of the learned friend, they saw it so from Kisumu, and he came out gun blazing and said allegedly that Governor Wanga demanded that Raymond Omolo should be taken out of the government. Is either you work with Raymond Omolo or you work with the government. So, and this has created a political heat, especially in the larger Luo nation. We've seen quite much conferences that are being held. Some are being held to castigate Wanga. Some are being held to castigate Raymond Omolo. To an extent, there are these rumors also that is going on that, as you know, today they are burying the Beryl, the late Beryl, the sister to the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, will be buried today at Kangoka Jaramogi. Rumors has it that this comes, they've hired the boys or goons, you may call them, so they could heckle each other, you know. So, as somebody who is coming from Homa Bay, what is your take on this? And in your perspective, how does this affect the leadership of the Luo nation? Mhm.
Thank you, brother Ben. And first of all, I want to say that for me, this war is very healthy and
Mhm.
very good for politics in Homa Bay County. Remember, Wanga's government has gone unchecked for quite some time, and this rift could bring the checks and balances that we want in the county that cannot be achieved by uh, devolution in some of these counties, like the ones controlled by the Orange Democratic Movement.
Mm.
Because one, most of the leaders elected there as MCAs and executives are chosen by the governor, and the voting is just done for formality, because these are people who are pointed out as close allies to the leader. So there cannot be a lot of checks and balances. That is why Homa Bay County and many other counties, you'll find that there is always harmony between the governor and the MCAs. Thus, we don't get good service delivery in some of these counties. Now, the rift between these two leaders, one is a technocrat and the other one is a politician. One, Gladys Wanga is uh, a grassroots mobilizer. I would say she's a grassroots machine for the Orange Democratic Movement uh, in Homa Bay. She did it while Raila Odinga was alive, and she still continues with the way she used to maneuver when the Enigma was around. Raila did not choose Gladys Wanga just by default or by
Yeah.
mistake.
Mhm.
She saw a potential, and I can tell you that she's good at mobilizing
Mhm.
and can bring people together in the shortest time. And she doesn't care about spending. That is one thing that makes us adorable to most of the people in Omabe, where I come from. This is somebody who will go to a crowd and make sure that everybody is given something to go back home. And you know, my people in Omabe, they don't think; they think. The most voters think with their stomach. Most of them they think with their stomach. So wakipatiwa chakula wanakula haraka sana.
Mm.
So Gladys Wanga is a machine. Is a machine in Omabe. Now the problem you asked about, the problem between Gladys and Ray. When William Ruto, remember when William Ruto was elected, these people were opposing William Ruto's government, and Raymond was the one who was doing William Ruto's mobilization within Nyanza. So William Ruto actually has started his presidential campaigns with the people that he had chosen in various regions. And Raymond was the one coordinating his affairs in Luo Nyanza. And he did it very, very perfectly to ensure that William Ruto remained at least relevant in some of the areas and got some votes. So
Mhm.
for Ruto, William Ruto, no, Raymond Omolo is a very loyal servant and technocrat, and has been voted one of the best performing permanent secretaries in Ruto's government. Now, having said that, look at William Ruto's government and the people he associates with. William Ruto is building another machine similar to what Raila Odinga built within UDA.
Mhm.
William Ruto is building a very powerful party that will be there from even beyond uh, his political tenure.
Mhm.
So his machine, his point man in Nyanza will still remain his loyal servant called Raymond Omolo. So even if Wanga feels that Ray is a threat because Ray's proximity to power, Ray proximity to power is very, very close. It's just a phone call away to the president, and I believe Wanga too. Now, what William Ruto also did that I would say as a leader, that is exactly what I would do, is that you'd work with elected leaders. Non-elected leaders are not representatives of the people. All right. So William Ruto, when he went to Homa Bay, he works with elected leaders. Elected leaders represent the people of that region. So Gladys
Mhm.
Wanga represents the people of Homa Bay. So William Ruto, anywhere he goes, he knows very well that the governor has to be there, who is a representative. Remember, initially when Ruto was appointed the president, his first visit was in Homa Bay, and all these leaders took off and they never received him at all. He
Yep.
did those visits for maybe twice, thrice. Then they later on realized, oh, we have to be here after consulting with Raila Odinga. So I think that fight is healthy, just as I said, for the people of Homa Bay. And again, it will bring a lot of accountability in Homa Bay.
Oh, okay. Let me just ask you, when you're talking about accountability on Nama Bay, we are seeing a situation whereby the governor herself and the deputy governor are not seeing eye to eye to an extent whereby, if it is true what the deputy governor was saying, that his office was locked on 1st of December, how is the deputy governor going to work? And also last week you saw Wanga relieved deputy governor of his duties. And this one interferes with the running of the county government, because like, how then do you say that that one will bring accountability?
Ben, you have to know how Oyugi Magwaga became the deputy governor of Homa Bay. This is not told. Gladys Wanga did not appoint Oyugi Magwaga as the deputy. Oyugi Magwaga was running as an equal to Gladys Wanga in the last general election. He was
Mm,
persuaded by Raila Odinga to support
mm.
Gladys Wanga. There were many options
Yeah.
that ODM would have gone with. But had Magwanga run as a governor, Gladys Wanga would not be governor today. Gladys Wanga would not have been governor today. We would be talking about Kidero as the governor for Homa Bay. So that was a calculated move by ODM ensure that they capture the Homa Bay seat. It was persuasion. It was persuasion.
Mhm.
It was like a Kibaki Tosha moment. It was like a Kibaki Tosha moment. Remember when Raila Odinga said Kibaki Tosha? Then,
Mhm.
because for one reason, that had they gone either way to look for the presidency, then Moi's candidate would have won. Now, back to your question again, how
Yeah.
will this bring accountability? Already, you are seeing that Magwanga will tell you, I know Gladys Wanga better than any of you. I know the deals that are happening in Homa Bay County better than anybody. If I decide to open my mouth, i- if if she is capable of impeaching the deputy, then they should go on as yesterday. The only problem is that this guy is as clean as cotton. Yeah, you will not impeaching on anything. What she can do, she has already done. Sack him from the being the CS for agriculture, because she's the one who appointed him. Locking his office. That office doesn't belong to the governor of Homa Bay. I mean, this is quite childish. Locking the office and things like that. That office belongs to the people of Homa Bay, and Magwanga was elected by the people of Homa Bay, just like Gladys Wanga, because they had to be a pair to be elected to in that particular office.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you so much. And let's put Magwanga aside. You spoken about Raymond Omolo, and for a fact, something that we have to agree, Raymond Omolo might be very quiet, especially in his duties that he has been assigned by the president or that office where he is, but he's touching so many lives, especially the widows, people who are doing businesses, like the houses that he's building for these widows. At what point, or what is so worrying for Governor Wanga, the way it is alleged that is calling out on the president that you will either work with the Raymond Omolo or work with the ODM. Now you want this guy out. Do you think that is a very good move? You are in broad-based government. Why can't you use the opportunity, since you're coming from the same locality, to empower your people rather than bringing your person down? What could be the pressure?
the pressure of Wanga to on the pressure of Wanga is the rise of Raymond Omolo. The pressure of Wanga is she's looking at 2027, and she's also looking at who could be the possible challenger in this particular seat.
Mhm.
Then Raymond Omolo comes from a bigger voting bloc called Karachuonyo. So
Mhm.
Karachuonyo area is the bigger voting bloc in Homa Bay. Also remember that Ray's brother Esbon Omolo who was eyeing for for this seat in 2027. And think what really is lowered down Esbon Omolo is the
Mhm.
president and the appointment of the brother as the PS for internal
Mhm.
security.
Yeah.
So was bringing a lot of conflict of interest. But
Mhm.
who is more political? Uh, unfortunately, people don't even know that Esbon Omolo is more political and has been in politics more than the younger brother who is a technocrat.
Mhm.
Esbon Omolo is more political and is the one who has been eyeing the position of the governor, and the governor is not threatened by by the PS. She
Mhm.
is threatened by Esbonomolo, who is the brother who is working quietly behind the scenes. So
Mhm.
Magwanga also, you have to know, he comes from the greater Karachuonyo. Yeah.
Are they
So
Rabala?
yeah. Hmm?
Are they Rachonyo Rabala? Are they the one called Rabala?
That is the Kal clan for, yeah, that is now the Karachuonyo area, the people who come from that particular region. Now,
Mm.
this by-election is the one that also fueled a lot of, a lot of enmity, because the people of Parachonyo, led by their leader is not Raymond Omolo. Their leader supposedly is Magwanga. So Magwanga was campaigning against the broad-based candidate, who is Boyd Were. And remember, the deputy president was at in Kasipul to campaign for Boyd. So what they feel is that, look here, these guys are working together. These people from Karachuan, and the person sponsoring them behind the scenes is Raymond Omolo. Raymond
Mm.
Omolo was also in Kasipul to support Boyd Were. Now, rumors also has it that they also think that the father of Boyd Were, Ongondo Were, was actually killed by the government. That is what they are not saying, but that is what they think is happening from the political circles and how they talk. This is what
Mhm.
they think, that this cover up is so deep that they had to finish Ongondowere in order to finish Gladys Wanga. That is the politics there.
Let me just remind you something that you've spoken about. Remember when the body of Omongondo Were was brought home, his brother, actually, when he was mourning, he allegedly called the name of Raymond Omolo, and Raymond Omolo did not attend the burial. Remember, he was not around. So that one could mean something. But now, coming back to Gladys Wanga and the issue with him now with Omolo, whereby now, if you look at the legislatures, especially those are elected in the party of ODM, you know, all these are happening in the social media, and other groups, especially in Kisumu, I've seen in Migori, some part of the lowland, are holding this demonstration. But the members of parliament, who Gladys Wanga is the chair to them, none of them has come out to speak, to defend Wanga on this. Why are people so quiet? Is there something that is happening that we don't know?
I told you,
Yeah.
there's a bigger problem
Mm.
in them coming out to clearly give their show their solidarity with Gladys Wanga.
Mhm.
First of all, they feel threatened by Gladys. Some of them are enjoying the fight. They want Gladys Wanga to fall. Yeah, most of them want Gladys Wanga to fall, and I would simply say to some of them it is envy. All right,
Mhm.
they would want to be in Gladys Wanga's position, but they can't be in that particular position. So it is envy. Now, they know very well that Gladys Wanga is the chairman. They know
Yeah.
very well that Gladys Wanga was the preferred heir apparent of chairmanship by the late Raila Odinga. They can't change that. All right. And she
Mhm.
is also the ODM chair. So she has got a lot of says when it comes to who becomes the MP of a particular area than
Mhm.
some of those leaders. When it comes to the issuance of ODM certificates, it has been something that they can't get right for a very
Mhm.
long time. And it
Mhm.
is by design that
Yeah.
it is like that. It is by design that it is for only a selected few who are loyal to the party. They
Mhm.
are the ones who are given that opportunity to be the flag bearers of ODM. And Gladys Wanga will have an upper hand in choosing the leaders. So they don't
Mhm.
want to make this hasty decision to support Gladys Wanga, yet the ODM does not have a clear direction on where how they want to move. Will they, with all these stories coming around that Gladys Wanga and Junet sold ODM, they feel like, okay, fine, it is this lady probably we will kick her out, and she might move to UDA, and
Mm.
we'll get somebody else. So they are just hanging in the balance. Some of them don't want to be involved in a fight that does not belong to them. They also don't want to make mistakes, all right,
Mm.
political mistakes, which can be very costly to them in the future. Remember, Gladys Wanga has got more influence in their region than them. Gladys Wanga has got more influence. And when I say more influence, the development brought by the national government uh, through her, and or through Raymond Omolo is a lot. Is a lot. The
But
roads, yeah.
but you're talking about this development, but all along, if you listen to the talks on the road, quietly, people are saying that these are projects of Raymond Omolo, who has made this one to happen, whereby the projects have been brought into Homa Bay through Omolo. And like Omolo has always supervised these projects of Homa Bay, especially for the national government. And maybe Wanga is taking credit. That is there. And maybe before I invite Joseph, you can also touch on, because like this war is coming at a time where the Luo community, they do not have somebody that they would say that this is their spokesperson. And quite a number of people are speaking this language of Raymond Omolo is kind of like preparing himself to be that person who can speak on the behalf of the Onagi nation. Can that one be true? And also, Wanga is positioning herself to be that person that will dictate how ODMs runs using her chairmanship. So that is where the clash is.
Waswahili wanasema mtu mkongwe
Mm.
ukiporomoka
Mm.
kichaka kipya uota.
Mhm.
Wajua hiyo Swahili wewe? Hmm?
Mm.
Have you ever heard of that?
Basi but naweza iangalia.
Mti mkongwe ukiporomoka
Mhm.
kichaka kipya
Mm.
uota.
Mhm.
Mm. When Raila Odinga fell,
Mhm.
or when the kingpin of Luo Nation uh, was laid to rest, there has to be a new leader who is rising to the throne. Unanisikia? Eh?
Nakusikia.
So hawa kina Raymond, kina Babu Owino, kina Gladys Wanga, hao ni vichaka kwa siasa. Mm?
Mm.
They will sprout, yani zinamea
Ziki-
zikikuja. So um, Gladys Wanga and development na hizi mambo yote na Ray.
Mhm.
The thing is that the people of Homa Bay, and why she feels threatened for a very long time, they have not seen development.
Mm.
Huyu anasema nini? Mzalendo, huo msemo ni wako, wewe ni mwenga. Waenga bwana, mimi najua Kiswahili si mdomo chetu, but
Mhm.
tunakijaribu. But sasa you see um, Gladys Wanga and the people of Homa Bay. Gladys Wanga, first of all, she has been receiving money for development. Yet she cannot point out that we did this with the county funds and things like that. Now, every other project that is in completion,
Mhm.
she is also the one who is saying that she requested the president to help them complete the stadium, the amphitheater, and all those roads that have been going on in that particular region. Now, the person who is coordinating government projects and the person who is assigned to coordinate all the government projects is Raymond Omolo, the person who is pushing the agenda for the president is Raymond Omolo. Raymond Omolo does not work for Gladys Wanga. Raymond Omolo is the permanent secretary for internal security, assigned on special duty by the president to coordinate his project, including housing projects that are happening outside the county of Homa Bay. So he's somebody who is working for the president of the Republic of Kenya.
Mhm.
Yeah, to oversee some of the government projects. So why does Wanga feel threatened? Because the people of Homa Bay have not seen development for a very long time, and that is why they are telling you. Ever since Ruto came to power, we have seen our people. One is a CS for treasury, sijui pesa inalala huko Gwasi, sijui stima inalala huko sijui wapi. They have not seen such kind of things for a very long time. So
Mm.
they they have not seen very I want to say very. I've not seen quick development efforts by by the government like they are seeing today in Ruto's government. Now the broad-based government brings everybody on board. Yeah.
Mm.
So uh, hao watu wote, mzalendo huyu ni nani tena? Huyu Dani Dario anaongea sana. So the broad-based government inaleta hawa watu wote pamoja, inaleta wafanyakazi wa serikali na viongozi wale wameteuliwa, kwa sababu you cannot do development in Homa Bay County in the absence of the governor. So
Okay.
Raymond Omolo has to coordinate also with the governor for these developments to happen. You get my point. So she also feels threatened that Raymond Omolo is doing a robust work or is doing more than what he's doing at the
Mhm.
county level. And remember, Gladys Wanga is positioning herself to be the deputy president. Yeah, that is what is rumored also, that she's positioning herself to be the deputy president, and she doesn't want Raymond to outshine her in all these things. So it's appearing that Raymond is all over. Raymond is in Kisumu, Raymond is in Siaya,
Mhm.
Raymond is
Mhm.
in Migori, Raymond is in Homa Bay. So
Okay.
that gives Raymond an edge. So and
Oh,
every politicians feel threatened by that.
okay. Asante sana mzalendo. Oh, this is Brother Benson Media, and we are here with Africa 24. We are streaming on those platforms, those two platforms. If you are watching us in any of the platforms, you can subscribe and become a member. I also want to take this opportunity to welcome two of my panelists, that is Joseph and Musmamo. To start with you, Joseph, how are you doing?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Hearing.
Yes, it has been long. Where have you been?
Yes, I've been busy a bit.
Ulikuwa
I've been researching the misemos by Mzalendo. That is what I've been researching.
Hey, hii msemo yangu kweli imewashika na yani mwapigwa na butua. Kila siku ndakuwa nikuwapatia moja moja.
I've been researching the Muhenga Mzalendo.
Umeipata lakini ama
Nimeipata
nilikosea?
lakini
Nilikosea.
ni vizuri tuko na wahenga wapya wanatengeneza misemo yao, ni vizuri tunaisikia na
Bwana wewe sikia, hata msimamo yuko hapa. Ukisikia mti mkongwe ukiporomoka kichaka kipya uota. Mti mkongwe ukiporomoka kichaka kipya uota.
okay.
Usichanganyishwe sana hii.
Mzalendo, sijakupata hapo. Hebu rejelea tena hiyo msemo.
Mti mkongwe ukiporomoka kichaka kipya uota.
Asante.
Okay, asante sana ndugu yangu Joseph. Acha pia nichukue nafasi hii
Lakini
kusalimia
Joseph,
ndugu yangu msimama.
labda pia nimwongezee hapo kidogo, mwambie kwamba mti mkubwa ukianguka basi nao ndege huyumba. Hilo nalo alenalo.
Yeah, hiyo hata
Huyu
mimi najua.
Mswahili, huyu Mswahili ndiye anakuambia kama nilikosea Joseph bwana. Mimi bwana Kiswahili nakifahamu kidogo, lakini najaribu. Ndio maana unaona kila saa nang'ang'ana hapa niongee Kiswahili. Nikipata msimamo hapa najua nitateremsha Kiswahili kidogo.
Hongera
Okay.
mkuu, hongera mkubwa wangu, hongera kabisa.
Okay. Wacha niseme asante kwa mandugu zangu wawili ambao wamekuja kwa kipindi. Tulikuwa tunazungumzia, we were just having a conversation on the recap of the week, and we were looking at those that happened during the weekend. We came to realize that Homa Bay became a center of conversation because the governor of Homa Bay, he's like at the center of everything. We are seeing the power struggle between her and the PS Raymond Omolo. We are seeing also the power struggle between her and the deputy governor, to an extent whereby the deputy governor today was saying that his office was locked on Monday, which was the 1st of December, and some goons were planted in the compound so that if he tried to access the place, then he would be gooned. So that is what is happening, and that's why we're saying that. And the question is, why is this one happening, and why is Wanga in the center of all this? That is what we are just about to conclude before we go to the next discussion, and maybe even the selling of the party, them getting a deposit from President William Ruto, according to Rigathi Gachagua too. Her name has been mentioned. So to begin with you, Joseph, maybe if you look at it, everything surrounding Wanga, whereby he has become the center of conversation, does it mean that Wanga is so powerful that there are so many forces that wants to destabilize her, or what is happening in your own thoughts?
Thank you for that question. And I want to begin that question with it's starting to state that in the by-election that just happened in was it on December November 27th? It was some of confirmation that the government was supporting a candidate called Aroko, and to my understanding, I think PS Omolo was also in support of Aroko, and I think the problem where it came is that they are trying to play the politics of Homa Bay. Who is going to become the person who is going to say or is going to dictate how the politics in Homa Bay are going to be taken as? And I think Wanga has been caught up in the storm of all this because she's trying to grasp Homa Bay and put it under her whims, but the likes of Akina Omolo, they want to show that they are the ones who have been doing all the things that have been happening in Homa Bay because so many developments were done in Homa Bay. And if Wanga is going to continue that trajectory, there's so many things that are going to happen. And one of them is, I see a place where if she's trying to get the deputy governor Magwanga impeached, what will truly happen is the government will save the deputy in case in case they bring an impeachment motion. In maybe in Homa Bay it might pass because Wanga is going to bully those MCAs into impeaching Magwanga. But the problem is we did pass in Senate because I see a scenario where there is a statement you were told by Father Dan there that the PS always runs things in these ministries. Now PS Omolo has been there and he has been running the show in the security docket. And I think security docket is one of the dockets that we can say they are very important in the country. We start with the security docket and we go to defense and we go to agriculture. Those dockets and finance, those are one of the highest dockets in the country. So when you are PS in these ministries, it means you are very powerful. And I think if the government is in support of Raymond Omolo, you cannot be that Magwanga just woke up and started supporting Aroko without knowing a way out. You cannot just be. He knew that if, in case you lose the by-election, what the repercussion that will come up to him. So what I think is what the government is doing. They are not in support of initially Gladys Wanga so much. They want to bring a Raymond Omolo who is going to be very powerful in the Homa Bay region. And this one is going to spill out in if Gladys Wanga want to shoot her her toes or her feet, she needs to bring the impeachment motion. If she brings the impeachment motion, I'm going to tell you that will be the downfall of Gladys Wanga, because all the machinery of the government will be used to bring her down. And she can bring the impeachment process if she's ready, but the repercussion is after the impeachment process and Magwanga is not impeached and is back in office. Now that one will be a start of a war that will not end, because it might end only in the general election in 2027. And if they are going to go at it like that, I'm telling you a scenario where you'll see Magwanga becoming the governor. And Gladys Wanga being kicked out of Homa Bay politics. It's if she wants to do that, but if she's going to be timid and cool down, she can be able now to fight it out in 2027. So this is all about power grabbing in Homa Bay as a county. There is nothing of Raymond Omolo is coming from Homa Bay, and you always see these PSAs and these heads of departments. Like for example, you saw the one for Kenoti. You remember Kenoti? Was it Kenoti or the one who was coming from Kirinyaga? What was his name? Who was wearing glasses? What was his name? Not Kenoti. Kenoti was DCI.
Kenoti was DCI.
Yeah, that guy. What was his name? The one who was wearing glasses. Kebicho. Yeah, Kebicho. Kebicho also wanted to do the same in Kirinyaga in order to take the Kirinyaga politics and grab it, because at that time he had a state machinery, and that is what is happening with Raymond Omolo. He has been laid out the machinery by the government to take over Homa Bay County, and I'm telling you a scenario where Raymond Omolo will bring all these players, Akina Kidero and Akina Magwanga and everybody, so that he can be able to take the wins of Homa Bay County. It's not a must. He becomes, he can be able to run, but I don't think he's interested in running for the governor seat, because if you're still a PS, you're still powerful than being even a governor. I think maybe he wants a scenario where he can bring Magwanga and can be able to control Magwanga for himself, because I think Raymond Omolo cannot control Gladys Wanga, and that is the problem that is coming there. Now, the effect will be what will happen to ODM in Homa Bay. That one will be the effect, because if they are going to go at it with the ODM governor, and then you have the machinery supporting Magwanga with an independent candidate, what will happen to ODM? That should be the question we are supposed to ask, because initially, if right now we are being told by sources that the government was supporting the candidates of Aroko, so what do you expect from the outcome in 2027? That should be the question, I think.
And before I invite Msimamo, we have I know Zalendo, Mwalimu Owidi. Yeah, Mwalimu Owidi said that Aroko was more UDA and broad-based than Boyd Were, so that's why he supported Aroko. And Owidi is a very strong supporter of President William Ruto. He everywhere he goes, and she's a very big critic of Governor Wanga. So that is there. Msimamo, thank you so much also for joining. Maybe for the longest time you've been in the politics, and you're seeing all this, what is happening with Gladys Wanga, whereby her name is being mentioned everywhere, from wanting to sell a party to picking all these fights with those watu. Akona vita vingi, mavita ambayo ako nazo napiga ni mingi. Unadhani hii itamweka akuwe na ile ujasiri na nguvu na apate ili kile anapata, ama hii itakuwa inamua kisiasa?
Asante, japo nasafiri lakini tutakuwa kwa maneno kidogo. So mniambie pia nifike safari yangu salama. La msingi ni kwamba hapa na Wanga na chama mazima, mtu asifiwe kwa maneno mengi, mtu anasifiwa kwa vitendo kwa kawaida. Cha msingi hapa kwanza ndio focus na certain chama kutokana kwamba kimeachwa yatima. So hii masuala ya kukutana na gumu hivi na Remendo Molo na ile mwingine, hii kwangu haileti tija, kwa sababu hilo ni chama kuimarika. Lakini sasa ile kwamba una force kwa sababu vile labda kile umeauriwa budi fulani, naona sasa unajaribu kila kitu ama unazuia kwa sababu ile ni kitu kwangu hili yangu beni haleti shangwe. Lakini pia kwa swala nzima swala ya chama chetu cha ODM kama tendo cha ODM, japo nimekiasi na nimekiacha, lakini bado nahamu kwamba kukiona kikisimame haswa, yaani na kizidi kusonga mbele miaka na mikaka, ili kiwe mfano bora kwa vyama vingine changa ambavyo itaweza kuiga mfano. So hii ya malumbano hii kwangu mimi naona inashusha credit ya chama mazima, hata wala si ndadisi Wanga peke yake, bali chama mazima. Kwa time being wangekuwa na focus na jinsi ya kuseta chama kuhakikisha kwamba bado tunabaki kwamba ile trust kwa wananchi, lakini by the time waanza kukutana hawa huku wala huku hapa pia kubaki zaidi hapo kwa government, tunaona kinaisha mazima, maana hakitakuwa na sauti bali ya kupambana na mgeni ambayo tayari hapo na chake, lakini yuko tayari pia kuhakikisha kwamba na hiki anakipangia pia. Kwa hiyo unajua mji wenye waume wawili sio patakalika hapo. Mimi taachia pale zangu, safari salama. Asante.
You're muted.
Asante sana ndugu kwa kuzungumza na sisi.
Safari kwa sina muda mwafaka hapa, japo nimebandika simu yangu kwa sikio kwa ajili ya kipindi na sisi yanga naendelea. Lakini mchango wangu fupi zaidi.
Asante sana, tumeshukuru. We safiri salama, ukifika vizuri utatuelezea. Mzalendo, maybe to ask you about something. You know, at the exchange of all this, we saw the other day that the members who were elected of ODM were invited at State House, but it ended up that the senior leaders of ODM, including Oburu Odinga, Oburu went, but Sifuna... Okay. Yeah. Sawa, asante sana kwa kufanya hivyo. So ulipata, there was that people like Edwin Sifuna, party leaders, and including Wanga, did not go to State House. One of the reason they were saying that the legislators were called directly by the State House, so they did not follow the party structure, and that one made the ODM not to go. Maybe what do you think happened? What made people like Sifuna not to go to State House? What do you think? Why?
First of all, in State House, you go with an invite. All right. If you don't just walk in like your bedroom or a public toilet.
They were invited
on Koinange Street.
They were invited.
I've not seen anywhere where the president is saying that I invited these people, or the president's AD is saying that we invited these people and they didn't turn up. But
Let me tell you, what happened? What happened was this. The legislators were invited. The calls were made to them directly. Then what happened? They reported to Oburu. Then the letter was sent to them. And immediately from Orange House, Chungwa House, they were supposed to go to State House, but it's only Oburu who went.
I think this tells you about the bigger rift within ODM. And many people feel, the people who didn't go there feel that they ought to have been contacted in a different manner. So for Oburu to show up and they are alone without the Orange Brigade, that tells you a lot what is happening within the Orange Democratic Movement. First of all, that that shows a lot of disrespect to the party leader, who is Honorable Oburu Odinga. So I don't think they would have done the same if it were Raila Odinga who was invited to State House. They would not have done the same. It shows you that Oburu Odinga is not in control. And it also shows you that Oburu is actually very, very close to William Ruto, and wants this broad-based government thing to work. Yeah. So I feel that William Ruto and some of ODM leaders who are hell-bent to see the party working with UDA. But again, there's people like Sifuna who are also pulling on a different direction. So there are so many forces within ODM pulling in different direction. One, because they don't have one party leader who is able to guide them. Everybody feels that they're a leader on their own right. Gladys Wanga is a leader, Joe is a leader, Oburu, now the ultimate party leader, is not being respected by the chairperson and by the secretary general, and definitely by other members.
So this is what I'm reading from. This was the paper yesterday that reported it. I can just give you, then I will invite Joseph maybe to say something of it. There's a place that says ODM chairperson, ODM chairperson Wanga did not attend either meeting. Their absence left Dr. Oginga flanked only by three new legislators, Boyd Were, Kasipul, and Moses. When they were received with the president alongside new elected members. But what triggers this was that it is said that let me get somewhere here. This is, get this place, Mr. Joseph, then you can react to it. According to ODM official who attended the morning meetings at Chungwa House, State House, contacted at Chungwa House, State House contacted the new MPs directly, bypassing party leadership before later sending formal invitation only after the lawmakers alerted the ODM chief, who is also a senator. So what is happening is this: when the new legislators were invited, they were invited without them contacting the leadership of ODM. Then the legislator reported that to Oburu. That's when the formal invitation was sent. You see that? So Joseph, can you react to that?
Yes, Brother Benson, can you repeat a bit, one minute, about the statement?
So will I really get it? The statement, so listen to this. I quote, this is from the Nation yesterday. According to an ODM official who attended the morning meeting at Chungwa House, State House contacted the new MPs directly, bypassing party leadership before later sending formal invitation only after the lawmakers alerted the ODM chief, who is also Siaya senator. It was only after the MPs told Dr. Odinga that State House dispatched a formal letter. So which means, from the look of things, the State House invited the new members of parliament without telling the party. Then the new legislators reported to the party. From then is when the formal invitation was sent out. What do you make of that?
That's why I was saying in my statement before. There is a place where I'm thinking. State House. State House is very big, and it has so many workers, and most of them they have their own agenda. For example, the likes of Akina Raymond Omolo, and it can be. Is Raymond Omolo an ODM party member? He's not an ODM party member. So I think what they were trying to do is they were trying to call these guys alone, so that they can be able to give them the agenda of theirs, not the one which is at the party. And it is going to be seen very, very, very soon, the infighting that is going to be there, because how can State House invite these MPs without telling ODM first, without going through ODM? You send an invite without even going through ODM. Then when you have done a mistake, they have already gone to the party headquarters. Is when now you start writing messages of invite directly. There is a question that you have been asked there. Are there pictures shown for Boyd Were in State House? Because the ones I saw were for Leo Amudende. That one I saw clearly. That one I saw in.
And the Oburu was there.
Yeah, and Oburu was there, but I've not seen for Boyd Were. So I cannot say if he was there or not there. But this one is an infighting between ODM and the problem is there is people who are in support of ODM as a whole, as a party, and there is people who are support of the broad-based government. So there are more voices not of ODM. There are more voices of that one of broad-based government. So when they come to bring to invite these people, I cannot say that even the likes of the MPs who are from ODM were not present. I think they were present there, the ones who are called the technocrats. I think most of them, they are advocating for this one, because the fighting in ODM is really even taking a toll on William Ruto, because he does not know where it is going to end at. So I think he has decided now to take the bull by its horns, and is deciding to venture into the ODM zones directly, without even the help of ODM. The person that could have negotiated for ODM very well was, we know who was the person who could have negotiated for ODM very well, and it was Raila Odinga. But right now, it's a lot of coalition in that party, because they don't have one voice. Everybody is talking in his own mouth, saying that ODM mara itaenda hivi, ODM will be here. So I think that one is William Ruto is seen a collusion in that party, so he's trying to take the wins by himself, and by bringing these MPs, if they went, because I never saw the pictures, if they went. And I think he just did it at the last stage to show that they are together with ODM. But if that MP could have gone to State House without going to ODM party headquarters, it could have shown that Ruto really has a toll on these MPs. Ruto is a person who likes to be control of these members of parliament. I think you have already seen that the Mount Kenya MPs, where they were in the weekend. I think Thursday. What is Thursday or Wednesday? You saw where the Mount Kenya MPs were. They were at Karen, all of them, the ones who are supporting the broad-based government. So I think Ruto is a person who likes to keep these MPs under his wings, so that he can be able to control them and control the agenda that is being into parliament. So I think that those are part of the issues that are there. But initially, ODM is seen as splitting.
Okay, because when Otosti was reached out, he said that he had an engagement in parliament, so he could not make it. But the governor from Mombasa said that there no big deal out of it. But in politics, everything is possible. To me, I would feel like because this is a way in which the president is trying to sell the broad-based government, Mr. Mzalendo, that everything that happens, because remember, even after the first rally that he had, immediately after the by-elections, where the UDA, I call them the broad-based government, won majority of the seats, he had the rally, and he did not say that is a UDA or ODM. He said that the broad-based government won those seats. So that is something that also came. But now you have to look at it in terms of politics and what is happening within ODM. I told you today, if you go and read these rumors of people organizing for youths, especially those who are going to, there's the group of Wanga and the group of Omolo. And even Ruth Odinga spoke about it yesterday when she received the body of her sister at Kisumu, that Beryl was a very peaceful person. And anybody who tries to bring issues, that is not the right place. We want to mourn our sister in peace. So, yeah, they could not do that. Okay, thank you so much. And that is that. Okay, Mzalendo and Joseph, we want again to shift the goalpost and we want to go to the Western Kenya. When people went for by-election, there are those who were really in UDA, to be precise, Boni Alwale. And Boni Alwale campaigned against his party. But what were the result? He was taken out, or the majority whip, was taken from him and given to Wakoli. But yesterday, Boni Alwale, do you know what he said? With his 10 degrees, he doesn't need that post. Maybe, just to start with you, Mzalendo, when you look at the political career of Boni Alwale and how he has carried himself during this by-election to an extent whereby he loses his seat in the parliament, especially his official role in parliament, then coming and saying that he did not need that. How do you see his political journey from here? Will it bring any effect, either positive or negative? And mute.
Yes, I mean, uh, Alwale is a very interesting character, and is a survivor in politics. I would not rule him out any day. He has been in so many regimes that I cannot judge him by just this one incident that he was beaten in a by-election. Remember, Boni Alwale is his nickname is the bullfighter, and in Western Kenya, is vying for uh, the governor's position.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to host the governor for Kakamega. So these people cannot be in a team. As much as you'd want him to be in the same team with the current governor, who is going to be his opponent in the next few months. Yeah, is
Mm.
going to be in his opponent, because next year we are starting another fresh round of campaigns for those who want to be governors and those who want to be senators in these areas. So Boni Alode had to go a different direction. Just the same thing that happened in Kasipul. The deputy governor had to go a different direction, because first of all, you're flexing your muscles for 2027. And the reason being, Kenyan elections, you have to fight for something. If I'm with you in the same team, I cannot come again and fight you. People would say that, but you guys have been working together, yeah, for the longest time. Why now? Wewe ndio unataka kuchukua kiti ya mwenzako, unajua? So
Mm.
there has to be an agenda. There has to be a way of looking into politics in a different lens from your opponent.
Yeah.
Whether it is negative or positive, it works well for you. So coming to 2027, Seth Panyako has got a better chance to win the elections, because first of all, you will say he was rigged out. So his people are saying that, Boni Alwale is also saying that Boni Alwale now has got something to go back to his people and tell them, this is what UD has done to your son. Can you vote for a party like this? So there has to be something. There has to be something. So the fragmentation and disunity among the opposition in Western region and and uh, and other regions like Mbere cost them these by-elections. They were so disorganized. They didn't know that they were fighting a machine that was prepared to win elections. So how? Yes, They didn't know how to confront the money aspect of Ruto and the Goonism in Ruto, and then the state-controlled police. They didn't know how to deal with all that. They were dealing with the messaging, but they didn't know the intricacies of the moderate voter. Yeah, especially in a low turnout by election, where where you can literally pay everybody to vote for you. Do you know in a by-election, if you have got the money, you can pay everybody to vote for you?
Yep, especially in those wards.
Mm. So Alwale being dropped as the chief whip, I think he does not have any backlash, because first of all, that position is very low key. Yeah, I would not think that removing Alware, was it the Senate? Was it the Senate majority whip? Yeah, it was the Senate
Yes, the
majority.
Senate majority whip.
It was the Senate majority whip. So I think even before he was dropped, not so many people knew that Alwale is the Senate majority whip. But of course, it comes with a lot of protection, security, and things like that. So you will miss that. So unfortunately.
Maybe Joseph, if you look at the politics of Western Kenya, whereby they've never been disunited despite the numerical power that they usually have on the Kenyan context, and now Kalwale is coming out very boldly, working with Natembea together with Malala. They're in the same team. Do you think in the larger Western they can bring people together and create impact towards 2027 or in 2027 general election?
Thank you for those questions, and I want to state I had come here and told you what will happen to Boni Khalwale after the elections. Everybody knew that he's going to be removed as the chief minority whip in the Senate, and that is what actually happened. It did not even take long before they removed him. But the problem is, has there had any impact of them removing Khalwale from that seat? The only impact I can see there is only that Kalwale, what they have done to him is money will not be coming, because when you are chief whip, it comes with money, and it comes with a little of power and security. But in terms of politics, what truly has it done for Karwale? Has it brought him down, or what has really happened to him? Truly, as I see it, I don't think there is anything that was affected by Boni Halwale being removed as a chief whip. But to come to Western politics, for long they have not been talking in the same language. They have been different camps. Even the late Raila Odinga got so much votes from Western, because that side has been so much divided. And you have seen instances of where Wetangula is taking some votes, Davadi is taking some votes. You saw the emergence of Eugene Wamalwa taking some of the MPs even from certain regions. You see a place where Boni Halwale is talking on his own mouth with UDA, because that time Davadi was having a party called ANC. Then you have seen an instance where Natembea took Trans Nzoia, and now he's back trying to pull the crowds. What really happened is Mudavadi really shot his foot when he entered UDA. When he took his party and merged it with UDA, that is where he shot his foot. And that's why you saw the likes of Akina, it's called the speaker, Wetangula, did not even try to sell his party, Ford Kenya. He's still standing with the party because he foresaw a scenario where, what if we have a person who is going to come and bring this Luya unity together? What will happen? And true to his word is that Natembeya is really taking inroads in Western. If you look with the symbol that is bringing up the Tawe movement, even it's not about the DAP Kenya. It is about the Tawe movement. And the Tawe movement, if you study it in depth, you can see it is a place where they are saying they want to let go every past that the leaders who are there have not helped the people of Western. So that is all about the Tawe movement. They want to leave those people who did not bring developments. They are telling them Tawe to go. So I have a question for you guys. Who really had brought Western Kenya to unity? Who was the leader who had brought Western Kenya to unity before?
Kijana wa Malwa.
Yeah, that is one. And there was another one.
Musinde Muliro.
Yeah, and there's another. What was his name? I'm hearing his name.
Nabongo Mumia.
Yeah, there's another one of late. I was hearing their name who had brought unity in the Luya community. I think was after Kijana wa Malwa, I think.
No, it's Kijana.
But
Are you talking about Martin Shikuku?
Yeah.
Martin Shikuku did not bring Luyas together.
What did he do initially?
Martin Shikuku was a liberator. He's one of the people who brought multi-party democracy in Kenya.
Yes.
He fought alongside Raila Odinga. And Shikuku was a very, very key figure.
Yeah, he was.
In the democratization of Kenya.
But like maybe Joseph is asking anybody who has brought
the only person who brought unity in the Western province is the late Kijana wa Malwa and Masinde Muliro. Yeah, there was a working unity between Kijana wa Malwa and the Luya leaders then, when Kijana Mamala rose to become the vice president of the Republic of Kenya. So that is the only time that the Western people could come together.
And Shoita Shitanda, Yubinas Shoita Shitanda. I heard about
Shitanda was not as powerful as Kijana Wamalo or Masinde Muliro. Yeah.
Soita comes from Malava.
Soita Sitanda, I think it comes from Malava.
So I was asking that question because initially, Brother Benson, the closest they have ever gotten was 2002. But the closest that they ever got was in Musalia Mudavadi's candidature. You remember he got around 500 votes. And more so it was coming from that was the closest they have ever gotten. I think now they are getting close to a unity under one person who is called Natembeya, who is doing inroads.
When Mudavadi ran for presidency with the money.
Yeah, in 2013.
All right.
Because you know, initially Mudavadi had been told that he's going to be given the presidency and Ruto will be his deputy. You remember that story? When they had wars with Uhuru Kenyatta and Uhuru Kenyatta called him some words there, very funny words.
Mapepo.
That is mapepo alikuwa imemuingia. So I think that is the closest they have ever gotten, because after that you can check in 2017, you can check in 2022 how they voted. You can clearly see there is a very big difference. Also 2007 they had unity. I think the unity that was brought by Kijana Wamalo was also extended to 2007, because 2007 the Western people really voted together in as a bloc. So
Yeah.
what will really happen? This is the most time now after how many years? 2013 to 2015, 12 years. Those are 12
Yeah.
years. Let's even say 2007, because 2013 was not very clear, very clear. It was not very clear. But if you look at 2007 to 2015, those are around how many years? 17 years. So I think this is the most time that they are going to come close to a Kijana wa Malwa unity under
Yeah.
the likes of Natembea. And
Okay.
you know, Natembea is, you know, one thing that is very shocking. In Kabuchai, the MP, you know the MP? The MP is called who? That's one from
Majid
Fort
Kalasinga.
Kalasinga, yeah. Kalasinga supported the revolution that was being, and the candidate that was coming from the sides of Akina Natembea. So it is very shocking that it is sweeping even people from Ford Kenya. And it has swept so many people from ANC. You know, ANC, they were left, the people in ANC, they were left fatherless after they were taken to UDA. So
Yeah,
I think he's bringing
and
a kind of unity in Western, and maybe we'll see it in the near future, because I think Western people are also feeling left out in this all arrangement that is always done. And they are deciding now, we need to talk as one people. If we don't talk as one people, it will be a problem. That's why you see the Tawe movement. You know, it's not about a person, Brother Benson. It is the Tawe movement. So that's why you see, you know, even I saw Akina Sifuna doing the Tawe. So I don't understand if it is contagious like that, because I saw even a place where it's called Otsotsi. Otsotsi had a campaign, and they had even Natembea in that rally, and they were talking about Luya unity. So I think in 2027, leading to 2027, we are going to see what will happen, because I
okay.
think Luyas we need to unite. But now
Okay.
where they take their votes, I don't know, but they need to unite.
All right. Wacha Nyamu moja habari gani? Muskari Kombo also made his contribution in Western Kenya. Yes, he was only powerful in Bungoma. Sindio Mzalendo? Muskari Kombo was very he was very popular in Bungoma.
Yeah, Muskari Kombo was Kijana wa Malwa's best friend.
Yeah.
And there's a very hilarious story that is told between Muskari Kombo and Kijana wa Malwa, that there was a time Kijana wa Malwa did not have money for fuel, I think. And he went to, and he was supposed to go to Western. So he went to Kijana wa Malwa, to Muskari Kombo, to ask him, hey, brother, bana. It's called, he kept on calling Muskari Kombo, telling him that they are coming to get some help from him, because they were traveling in Western and they didn't have money for food. So the way Muskari Kombo was talking is like he was going to get something very nice from Kijana Wamala was talking. He was thinking that he was going to get some big money from Muskari Kombo, only to get there and he was given 500 shillings.
and I've
Mzalendo, where do you read these stories, man?
Kijana Wamala was no, this money, what am I going to do with this? So Kijana Wamala calls one of his Indian friends, I think, and then the Indian guy tells him, okay, you come. So the Indian guy gave him 50,000. They were going for campaigns, and he went for his campaign. So there are very interesting stories in politics, Jose. Some of these you don't get to hear them, but when you sit with politicians, you get to hear some stories.
The question, Brother Benson, I would like to ask is, I wanted to ask about Western, and I want to talk about Kijana. You know, Kijana Wamalo was one of the leaders where you saw he was a very calm individual. I don't know how his politics was played, but that guy, really united the Western
No,
vote, and he was a very
you know the funny thing. This guy was very intelligent. He was, and do you know how Kijana Wamalo has spent most of his time?
no.
Do
I would
you
like
have
to
any
know.
idea? His best time? He spent like me watching cartoons, Tom and Jerry, and Woofy Duck. Yeah. So he's supposed to attend a meeting. You'll find him busy watching Tom and Jerry. Yeah, chasing the cat in the house. And it's a serious moment that he cannot be interrupted when he's watching that cartoon.
And
But,
he's
but but I believe what Mzalendo is saying, he was very intelligent. Even there was a documentary I was watching, and they said that, you see, if Kijana Amalwa was still alive, the 2007 could have not happened, because he was able to talk to Kibaki and Raila at the same time. He was being able to bring these guys together, and they were able to listen to him.
Jose,
But
Jose, do you know that it is Kijana Omalo who beat Raila Odinga in Ford, Kenya?
yeah, I remember. I know that story where they walikuwa wamelala. I saw even that video wamelala kwa podium, wamejifunika, and there was so much problems in Ford. I remember, and was it where the Ford split, because there was a main Ford.
Mm.
Hapo ndipo Ford ili split ama ni wapi?
Yeah,
There was the
no,
main Ford, which
Mzalendo,
was
Ford did not split there. Ford splitted when Jaramogi was still there.
yeah, I remember. But what year was it? Because what followed, I think, was after the death of Mzee Oginga Odinga, is when all these events started to spin. Because
So
I remember they were fighting for the Ford chairmanship. Was it the chairmanship?
no.
That time the chairmanship was not the party leader; it was the chairmanship.
So what
So I think they
happened?
were fighting.
This is what happened because Jaramogi died in 1994. Oh, is it 94 or 1990?
1994.
Yeah. So after that, that's when the fight to who is going to control Ford happened. You know,
So it
then
happened. It happened just immediately.
after the death of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga.
Yeah, he died in January 20, 1994. Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember he died in 1994.
So after the death of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, that's when all they started. And Raila had already vied for he won the seat of Kibra with Ford Kenya. So in the process, that's when they did not agree, and he left Ford Kenya and resigned as a member of parliament and went and seek mandate of the people. Raila is the only member of parliament who resigned as a member of parliament, went to seek a fresh mandate from the people, and he was voted with a new party to the parliament.
I can clearly see that the original Ford movement was founded in 1991.
Yes.
And then in 1992, I think it was split, because I can see there was two Ford. Ford Kenya led by Oginga Odinga,
and
and Ford
Asili by
Asili
Matiba.
led by Kenneth Matiba and Martin
Matiba.
Chibukwe. I think
Yeah.
now Raila Odinga and Kijana Wamalo are fighting for Ford Kenya.
Yes.
Because Ford Asili was under Kenneth Matiba, and Kenneth Matiba went with it till 1997 the elections. Yeah, he went with it till 1997 elections, and I think the split maybe happened in 1999 after the death of Mzee, because Mzee was the party leader in 1992.
After the death of Mzee, Ford Kenya did not split. What happened was that Raila left Ford Kenya because he was a member of parliament with Ford Kenya, you know. So after maybe Wamala won, he decided to resign as a member of Ford Kenya and as a member of parliament. Then he came with, was it LDP or SDP? It's LDP.
I think LDP, I think, yeah, he formed LDP.
LDP.
Yeah, LDP.
So he went and seek the mandate of the people, and he was elected as a member of parliament with LDP. If not LDP, should be
No, it's LDP. You're right, it is LDP because it was Liberal Democratic Party, but I am trying to see when it was formed.
Yeah, so that's what happened. So he went, then Wamalwa went with Ford Kenya. Then after LDP, that's when Raila came and joined KANU. Yeah. Yeah. After
No. Mzalendo, maybe you're losing the Nini. Laila formed LDP after coming out of KANU.
No, there was
LDP was a player in 2002.
No, there was a party that he went with for Langata. I cannot, but if what party did Raila seek immediately after?
NDP, I think.
Yeah, NDP.
NDP, yeah.
Yeah, NDP. So from NDP, they went to KANU. Yeah?
Yeah, I think it is NDP because what they're saying about National Development Party is was significant political party active from the 90s, founded by Stephen Wilfred Omolo Olunde, known for its focus on development issue, education, and
Olude.
Yeah, and then but it eventually
you guys should know that Raila never dissolved any party. Raila did not dissolve NDP to join KANU.
No,
Raila, it was they only merged the two parties together.
But
it's true, Mzalendo. KANU and NDP merged. So Raila was in NDP, then they merged with KANU. Then I think when Moi brought Uhuru Kenyatta, then Uhuru, because that party is a very short party from 1994 to 2001. I think after when Moi started to bring Uhuru Kenyatta to the fold, that is when Raila got LDP. No, before. It was before because the moment.
Let me tell you.
Raila is the only person who resigned as an MP, no? He was an MP under which party in 1987?
Now,
let me tell you.
Guys, now let me just bring some light and information to you. That you know when Raila merged with the KANU, do you know the reason why Raila Odinga merged with KANU? First of all,
what was the reason?
The reason why Raila Odinga merged with the KANU is that we were going to face elections, and Raila Odinga was promised by Moi that he will be the presidential candidate.
Mzalendo, that one came later. That one came much later.
I am telling you, that is the reason why they merged. So when Moi decided to choose Uhuru Kenyatta as the presidential candidate for KANU, Raila went ahead to form NAC. That's how he left KANU.
Yes, that's how. That's okay. But remember, immediately after them merging, NDP was did not exist. That's why he was given the Secretary General of KANU.
That what?
Yeah, so Raila was given General Secretary of KANU.
Can you repeat your statement?
After them merging, remember they merged and the flag of the NDP was brought down. Yeah?
Yes.
Then from there, now Raila was given an opposition, he was given as the Secretary General of KANU.
Yes, of KANU, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so NDP was not
existing. I can read to you what happened, Brother Benson.
Just continue.
If Raila was a party member of NDP and just said, yes, Raila was the leader of Kenya's National Development Party from the mid-90s until it merged with KANU in 2002, running as the NDP presidential candidate in 1997 and becoming its prominent leader after leaving Ford Kenya. He brought significant support to the NDP. So he's seen merger with KANU in a significant political shift. The NDP and the ruling KANU party merged in 2002, with Odinga becoming KANU's Secretary General.
So which means when he came Party Secretary General, the NDP was not existing. They merged. And when they merged, the KANU became like NDP was now not existing. Then from there, that is when, that Raila was not only promised, but they were supposed to go to the ballots. People were supposed to go to the ballots to elect them, because we had Mudavadi, we had Uhuru Kenyatta, we had Kalonzo Musyoka, all these young people who were there. Then then President Moi came and say ameangalia kwa hao watu, akaita Uhuru Kenyatta, ndiye akasema huyu kijana anaweza ongoza hii nchi. What happened? Raila, George Saitoti na hawa watu wengine wakatoroka, including Kalonzo Musyoka. The only person who remained was Uhuru Kenyatta and President William Ruto. Those are the people who stay. The rest of them wakaenda. And that is when Mudavadi was given deputy deputy president, how do we call it, for only 6 months. Akaenda na hizo magari huko kwao Vihiga. Unaweza kumbuka?
Yeah, but also LDP was formed later after what Brother Benson has said.
Yeah, so hiyo
So
LDP,
there was NDP and there was LDP.
So LDP ndilikuwa imebeba Kalonzo Musyoka, ikabeba Musila, ikabeba the Ukambani. Majority hapo Kalonzo alikuwa, Raila alikuwepo. Hata nani huu David Musila, angalia who was the post of David Musila in LDP. Yeah. Hapo ndio sasa LDP kakuja. So LDP ilikuwa imebeba mpaka wakina hawa Kalonzo. Kalonzo ndio watu ambao walitoroka. And people did not believe that Kalonzo could leave Moi by then.
Yeah, I think you're right. But NAC was formed by so many parties. Even Ford was a member, and DP. You remember DP?
Yeah. So let me tell you, umesikia hii story wenye walikuwa nasema kwamba unajua wakati NAC was supposed to be formed, before Raila joining hii NAC yenye inakuja, Raila had an agreement with Nyachai. And they agreed with Nyachai, with Ford people, before joining the NAC, ambapo Raila sasa alikuwa anakuja kusema nini tosha. Raila was supposed to support Nyachai. And I don't know what happened along the way. Raila came back on kwa hii side ya kina Kibaki. Hapo Ngilu was supposed to be the prime minister.
Who was supposed to be the prime minister? Sorry,
Ngilu.
Uhuru?
No, Uhuru was on the other side. Uhuru was now with
Ngilu.
Yeah, Uhuru was with Ruto and with Uhuru Kenyatta and Moi. Yeah. The other side, we had Kibaki, we had Bichariti Ngilu, we had Kijana Wamalwa. Hao ndio vigogo walikuwa huko. Then kwa LDP, we had Kalonzo Musyoka and Raila Amolo Odinga, hapo ilikuwa imebeba mpaka Musila. And Nyachai had Ford people. Yeah, unaelewa?
So the Ford Asili metamorphosized to Ford people. No,
Ford Asili was standing alone. Ford Asili ilikuwa ya Jindo Matiba.
But what happened in 1997? Because Matiba, was it the third runners up or was it the second? The third.
So in 1997, when opposition met, walikuwa wamekutana. It's only the people, Raila and the group bado walikuwa huko kwa KANU, lakini hao watu walikuwa hata washatengeneza. Then Raila akaongea na nani? Raila akaongea na Simeon Nyachai of Ford Kenya. Ujasikia kuna hii pesa ambayo ilipotea hapa. Kuna pesa ambapo alipatiwa hiyo pesa ilisemekana kwamba alikula. Hiyo story iko. Hata naona huyu. Yeah, ndio hii. Ndio sasa huyu anakuambia kitu yenye iko. Baada ya kukutana, then Raila akaenda kusema kule Kibaki tosha, akatengeneza pale. Na hiyo ndio iliharibu uhusiano ya Raila na Nyachai of Kisii politics. So that is what is there. So mzalendo, hiyo habari uko nayo?
hiyo habari yote niko nayo, ndio naona tu ni vile mnachanganyikiwa kidogo na historia ya LDP na jinsi hao jamaa walikutana, lakini yote ile unayosema ni ya ukweli, isipokuwa tu ni ile ufafanuzi wa kile kilichotendeka. Unajua LDP kama chama ilianzishwa kutokana na ile kufurugana kati ya mawaziri wale walikuwa pale katika urengo wa Moi, yani KANU. Na hiyo kutofautiana na uamuzi wa Moi kuchagua kama Uhuru Kenyatta, kama uamuzi wake wa kuchagua Uhuru Kenyatta kama mgombeaji wa urais. Hiyo ndio ilikera sana kina Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, George Saitoti na Joseph Kamotho, Mudi Awori na wengineo walipofanya uamuzi wa kihistoria kuondoka kule KANU, wakajiunga na hiyo chama kinaitwa Rainbow Alliance. Ilikuwa inaitwa Rainbow Alliance.
Yeah, it was Rainbow Alliance before they formed it to National Rainbow Alliance.
Yes, so unaona hapo kuna kitu ilikuwa inaitwa Rainbow Alliance. So hiyo Rainbow Alliance ndio ilizaa hii kitu inaitwa NARC Coalition. Unaona? So LDP ikaungana na NARC Alliance Party of Kenya, muungano ambao ulikuwa Mwai Kibaki alikuwa ndani kama kiongozi.
Na alikuwa anatoka kwa chama gani?
DP.
Ngilu alikuwa anakuwa na chama gani?
Ngilu Charity Ngilu alikuwa na NARC
Kenya.
NARC Kenya.
Alafu
so ndio wakaungana.
Wamalo alikuja na Ford Kenya.
Ngilu pia, unajua mwaka gani Ngilu aligombea urais? Mama Rainbow.
Yes.
Ni mwaka gani?
Aligombea urais 1997 ama 1992.
So aligombea uchaguzi na alikuwa na nguvu kabisa huo mama, usimuone.
Alikuwa na nguvu.
Alikuwa na nguvu kabisa, huwezi mlinganisha na kina Martha Karua na wale wengine sasa wako katika siasa. Huo mama alikuwa karibu sana awe rais. Angekuwa amepatiwa, angeungwa mkono na Moi baada ya Uhuru, angekuwa rais wa Jamhuri wa Kenya. So hiyo ndio historia kidogo hapo. Kulikuwa na mchanganyiko, lakini I hope umeelewa sasa.
But wakati walikuja wakaungana, kila mtu alikuja na chama chake.
Ndio Raila alikuwa na LDP yake. Raila alikuwa na LDP yake. Saitoti hakuwa na chama, alikuwa ametoka KANU, kwa ukijua.
Kalonzo hakukuwa na chama.
Kalonzo Musyoka hakukuwa na chama.
Walikuwa LDP.
Walijiunga
na LDP.
Walijiunga na LDP.
Walijiunga na LDP. Hapo kwa LDP Musila ndiye alikuwa anachukua.
Acha can you correct you a bit? Charity Ngilu party was SDP.
Yeah, SDP.
SDP, and I think she left it in 1997.
Then nani akaenda nayo? Nyong'o aka contest nayo Omorengo.
Na ujue hakuna NARC Kenya. Unajua kwa nini nimesikia Mzalendo akisema NARC Kenya? There was no NARC. I think it was NARC, the NAK, NARC. Unajua kulikuwa na ile NARC na kulikuwa na NARC. Nakumbuka NARC? National what? Alliance of Kenya. NARC. Kulikuwa na NARC. Alafu kulikuwa na hii NARC nyingine sasa.
masaa ni za Ngilu, za Ngilu. Hiyo ilikuwepo.
Yeah.
Slogan.
Because I think North Kenya came under who? Under Mother Karua time?
Yeah.
Not Kenya. Not Kenya came with Mother Karua when she came out with Not Kenya after.
Yeah. So
and they had to negotiate for 2007 elections. You know, also Mother Karua was negotiating in the 2007 election. She was a negotiator for Kibaki. She joined because, you know, Kibaki needed to join so many parties from the Kikuyu region who had split. You know, even Uhuru had his own party, KANU.
Yeah.
So before they united the PNU, but you know, the problem was Uhuru had been swept away. KANU had been swept away by ODM at that time. ODM had carried the majority of the of the things in.
For the records, and Uhuru Kenyatta is the first to concede defeat. Is the first presidential candidate to concede defeat.
Yes.
Yeah.
In
Alikubali ameshindwa, akasema naenda. Anyway, let's wind up with this. Joseph, this is your case, and I want to know I want to see on how you're going to handle this. I want to focus on JB Muturi. And all of us knows what happened with JB Muturi from the time his son was abducted. Akaenda pale kwa ministerial post, akaanza kuleta hiyo kichwa, akasema lazima hivyo, ikafika mpaka pale Ruto akamtoa akachukua mtu mwenyewe ndiye alileta, akamleta hapo, akatoa candidate. Ukaona kwamba let's say right now, can he get a fight back with President William Ruto? Because like it seems like President William Ruto has really beaten him politically.
JB Muturi?
JB Muturi.
JB Muturi's story, Brother Benson, is a very hard one. You know, it's a story of anger. I can really tell, and a story of frustration, and a story of revenge. JB Muturi is a person who has been a speaker. Then after becoming a speaker, he was appointed. He was told, even don't run for your, you know, Ruto, that is what he was telling these people. He was telling you, don't run for even Nani was told like that. It's called this guy, the DP now, Kithure Kindiki. He was told, I need to take you from I think he wanted to run for the governorship, and he was told no. Or the senatorship, and he was told hapana, nataka kuleta kwa national politics. So this JB Muturi was a casualty of being told usiende kusimama, nataka kuleta kwa national politics. And when they brought him to national politics, he was given the office of the AG, where things did not turn out well. And according to the insider, because Rigiji was the insider at that time, he was the deputy, he gave stories of where they were not in good terms with William Ruto. And after he was changed his position and took to public service, which even did not take time. And at that time, before he was taken to public service, his son was abducted in the week of 25th June 2024 post-elect. It's called a protest that was led by the Gen Z-led protest. And I think William Ruto, within the insiders or the people who, you know, we have been told that the NIS was the one who briefed the president on what was happening, and you can clearly see from the people who tell us, they say that Gachagua and the likes of Akina Muturi were the ones who are leading this Gen Z protest. So I think Muturi found himself as a casualty of this one. And since then, from when he was put as a public service member, he has been having a downfall. And it's a very tragic story for him, because once a revered person who was a speaker of the National Assembly, you know, at that time, being a speaker of the National Assembly, what it carries, it means that you are the third in line in case something happens to the president and the deputy, or maybe even, for example, if Ruto and Uhuru, they were taken to ICC and their cases were told that they are found guilty. Who could have taken the country at that time? It was JB Muturi, because he was the third in command. So it is very unfortunate for a person coming from a third in command place to a person even who is going to fight for a by-elections in his own constituency, where even it has happened that he has been beaten hands down by the whatever they we say, the machinery or stealing or what. He'll be beaten in that until maybe they bring a case to court. We just say that the IEBC just released the results for Mbere. So it's very unfortunate for him that he's under this one. And I think Ruto never respected JB Muturi. I think, Ruto always looks at the multitude of what you can bring into his basket. And JB Muturi is a casualty of this, Brother Benson. And it's very unfortunate.
I think what maybe I can add is that you see somebody like JB Muturi, for me, was a standard measure of where the presidency is going. That guy is very powerful. JB Muturi is Uhuru's best friend, if you didn't know. He's one of Uhuru's very, very close allies. So, and JB Muturi is the last person who defected to UDA from Uhuru's government. Did you know that?
Yes, we know.
He was the last person who defected to join William Ruto to vie in 2022. And he left his best friend, who is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So it is like Uhuru had already told him that William Ruto is going to win the presidency. So yeah. Just say you are laughing.
No, you want to bring the Babu Owino effect.
No, let me tell you, there's intelligence in Kenya, and there is intelligence around the world, and they all share information. Even today, Jose, there are people who have gathered somewhere who already know who is going to be the next president of the Republic of Kenya. Through intelligence data, they already know. Yeah. And that intelligence is shared to the president. Wewe tutapiga kelele hapa, tupige vile tunataka, sijui nini, ni mtu wangu, sijui nani. But these people, they already know nani atakuwa rais wa Kenya through the data, others through by design, that this is the person we want to be the next president of Kenya. So hizi vitu zote is already out there.
But Mzalendo, maybe if you look at his life politically, because I can remember Justin Muturi just vied once and he got the MP for where he vied. Then he was proposed to be the Speaker of the House, which he did 2 terms in the administration of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And after that, he went to be an AG, or maybe he was working in the executive. But with political differences that they had with President William Ruto, and he went back to the politics, especially in area where he comes from, or where he deemed to be having influence, but he was beaten at his own game, politically speaking. Do you think he can make a comeback that might surprise President William Ruto? Because from the look of things, how it seems that President William Ruto beat him in his own game. Because President William Ruto,
you see, JB Muturi resigned, yeah, as the AG in Ruto's government. Is that true?
He did not resign.
He was sacked.
He was sacked. But Brother Benson, which MP are you talking about? When did he win the MP seat?
Before he becomes a speaker, he was an MP. Look, check.
No. I think 1999 is when he became an MP. Because
Yeah.
he was first elected to parliament in 1999 as MP for Siakago.
Then after that,
He was re-elected in 2002 and served as an opposition whip. So he was re-elected in 2002.
yeah. But
Yeah, but he was defeated for the council. He was defeated by Lenny Kivuti in 2007.
then
5
he was,
years later, 2013, he was elected the speaker. So he only became the MP till 2007.
yeah. So, and when you look at that and having, but because he is, I would count him as one person that has hold the highest office, especially AG. No, let's start with the member, with the attorney of the parliament. I mean, like the speaker of the parliament. Then from speaker, he became the AG. Then he was brought into that ministry. Then with the disagreement of President William Ruto, his best friend was picked to be the CS. Then the political battle started, and whereby President William Ruto won. If you look at him politically, do you see him making a comeback by himself, going for any seat, a governor, Senate, or supporting somebody who will beat the candidate that President William Ruto has proposed, or candidate will be running with the party of President William Ruto?
Who
No,
will be
I can
running?
answer that.
Who will be running with which party will be? This guy is the chairman of DP.
Of DP, yeah.
And even if he's a chairman of DP, I'm now asking, there must be somebody who might run in
He's
that.
the leader, not even the chairman. He's the leader.
The leader, he might propose somebody to run in that
No,
particular.
the problem is, I don't see him having a comeback as a governor or anything. That is the whole thing. The only thing I can see.
think when you look at this guy's results and what he has been doing in the public service, it tells you a lot. It tells you that first of all, this is a guy who is not connected to the people. Is not connected to the ground at all, and that is why he lost he lost in the
In the Bere, no.
in Mbere, and he has even lost as an MP when he was contesting. He has only won once.
I think Mzalendo, we cannot even date him with Lenny Kivuti. You know, Lenny Kivuti has been a force. He has been going for this election.
That's what now. When you gather all that information, you realize that he's not very popular. But as a civil servant or as speaker, the way you are putting him, it's like saying that this other guy who also tried his luck, the best speaker that Kenya has ever had. What is his name from Western Kenya? No, from Western Kenya.
Marende.
Marende also
I was just joking with you.
Marende also tried his luck in politics. What happened?
He failed terribly.
He failed terribly. So these people, sometimes when you are in the highest office, you think that you are very popular and you can go to the ground. Politics is a different game. Just like my good friend, maybe Raymond or Mall. When you think you're up there, you decide, okay, let me go for it. Politics is very, very dirty. It is not what you see. People like you when you are in position of power. But once that power is taken away from you, then you become ordinary. That is why you see that power being taken away from Boni Alwale as the majority Senate whip. You become ordinary. You become unachanganyikiwa. Kama asubuhi ulikuwa unaona Land Rover 3 ama 2 zinakukujia na siren, unaamka na driver wako.
And Zalendo is true. That is what happens to almost. You see these CSS, the ones who are in Uhuru government. You see them like the one who was called Zakaria. You know that guy called Zakaria. Nowadays I see he's a blogger. He's always in news.
Sasa unaona yani Jose, unajua ulikuwa unaamka na maaskari wanakuoshea gari.
Wacha askari Mzalendo, uko na bendera ya Kenya inapeperuka pale kwa gari yako.
Sasa unaamka na Masai na shuka na njora.
You know,
Masai inaendaje leo?
Mzalendo, to me, talking of Raymond Omolo, I do not think that Raymond Omolo can go for any political seat by now. I think his main goal right now, especially, is to deliver more votes than what he delivered during the 2022 general election for President William Ruto. That is his work.
But
And
under what, Brother Benson? Because they are not together with this, they are talking in different terms with
let
the
me tell you,
Wanga.
let me tell you what will happen. What will happen in the Luo region in 2027. I think Zalenda might be wrong. I think the political space of Luo region has been opened for many people to run, and majority of independent candidates or the candidates who will be running with the president party will score more. I do not believe that ODM will be strong in the lowland. One, especially when it comes how they are going to carry their nomination, Mzalendo. If they are going to, the way they are going to carry their nomination is going to determine their strength. That is one. Secondly, kiburi. Unaona ile
Mi nakwambia wewe ni hii kabila ililaaniwa.
kiburi.
I think Brother Benson, what happened in Kirinyaga will happen in Homa Bay.
Well, let me tell you, I keep on, and I told Jose the other day, and I kept on saying, no, the Kikuyu community is like this. And you remember what I was telling you? This guy called William Ruto is creating what voting machines in most of these regions.
Regions.
And yes, and also is creating some new upcoming leaders in those regions. Today, that guy who beat the MCA in Mbere, yeah, he's become a very popular leader. Everybody is talking about this guy. That is the whole idea. Today, people are talking about a young guy who is not even a politician in Nyanza or Noma Bay, called Raymond Omolo. In Kisi, there is people are talking about one guy called
Osoro.
People do not understand how William Ruto is playing his game. William Ruto is looking beyond his legacy as the president of Kenya. You are looking at short-term goals. Yeye ameangalia, you are looking at short-term goals.
Mzalendo utatuambia hivyo bwana.
Mnaangalia short-term goals and short-term gains. Huyu ni jamaa anaangalia, mimi nikitoka hii kiti, kuna mzalendo kule Homa Bay, ule atakuwa ananitetea. Unajua, that is my making. He is creating a voting block like the one Raila created in all the regions. Today, tell me any region in the Republic of Kenya that will not vote for William Ruto's UDA. Niambie, kuna gani? Kama unajua, hakuna. Now, my brothers and sisters from Nyanza, very intelligent people, they claim they are very, very educated, but politically they are the most ignorant community.
Utapigwa na mawe.
Hiyo mawe yao
Utafanya Brother Benson akasirike azime stima. Utafanya Brother Benson azime stima.
Hiyo mawe nimezoea. Ukweli tu ndio naambia. Kuna maloya manani, lakini kisiasa they look for short term gains. Unanielewa? Tumepatiwa hii kiti ya CS. Sisi ndio pesa inalala huku. Stima inalala huku.
Stima inalala huku nini?
Tuko na tukapet, yani tuna vitu vingine, nakimbia na bendera. Unaona bendera inakuja huko kwetu, unajua
amekuja na chopa. Unajua mpaka wanaland na chopa huko ushago.
Chopa kama 10 jamaa. Hata kama ni kwenda kukunywa chai, anaweza enda kunywa chai pale. Unajua unatoka nyumbani kwa, kama angekuwa na chopa anaenda kunywa chai. Tunasikia ni big English but hakuna kitu kingine. Ni too much big English but no development. You understand?
Niliona kijana ananifurahisha, ameweka mawe hapo mbele alafu akasema big.
Inaitwa YOLO. Unajua YOLO inamaanisha nini?
Sasa mzalendo, sikiza.
So hiyo ukiona sasa unawacha nikurudie kwa hii siasa ya Ujaluo ile uelewe kabisa, na ile kitu William Ruto anafanya nitasahau kwa sababu this is very important. Hata Raila angekuwa hai wakati huu na aseme anaenda kuunga Kalonzo mkono na kina Gachagua mkono, William Ruto bado angekuwa amepenya katika mlengo wake, na hawa CS kina Wandai, kina Mbadi, kina nani awangeungana naye, awangewacha kazi zao waungane na Raila Odinga, kwa sababu wameandikwa na serikali. Na ukiandikwa kama cabinet secretary Ben, unajua nini inafanyika kama umeandikwa CS wa serikali ya Kenya? Unaweza enda kwa hoteli yoyote na marafiki zako yoyote, ukunywe ufanye nini, na bili nalipwa na serikali. Wafanyikazi wako ule wa jikoni wanani wanalipwa na serikali. Watoto wako shule ile wanaenda, mali yote ile wataenda, maisha yao yote inalipwa na serikali.
Wamepewa mpaka ulinzi, watoto wako.
Leo nataka kulala Kimpiski Mombasa ama wapi, unaenda unachukua ndege.
Baba pesa anajikuna, anajua Kimpiski
gharama ya serikali. Unaona? Leo nataka leo sioni ni kama leo lazima niende dina huko Dubai. Haya, alafu niambie umepatia brother Ben hayo yote. Jamaa anakuambia mambo ya jiwago. Ni mambo ya good life ndugu yangu Regan. Ni mambo ya good life. We want a good life.
Naona brother Mzalendo afurahi na hii mambo. Brother Benson. Brother Benson, hii mambo ifurahishi.
Hapana, unajua mimi kitu ambacho kinanifurahisha ni kwamba mtu akifanya uamuzi, anafanya uamuzi ambao anaona ni busara. Lakini baadaye usikuje kulia. Utakuja kujilaumu wewe mwenyewe. Hiyo kitu Mzalendo anasema ni kweli, kwa sababu kwa zile clips mtu alitushikia, kuna mama hapa alikuwa anasema, mimi nimependa Raymond Omolo, hata saizi niko na mimba, nikizaa atanilipia SHA. Did you see that?
Hiyo sijaona.
Yeah, kulikuwa na amesema. Angalia hata Kiete almost 1 hour alisema. Raymond sijui alikuwa shatoa 15,000, huyu tunampeleka tunamzika nyumbani. Sasa alikuwa anaambia wale wenzake, nyinyi pia tuambieni au mabwenyenyezenyu wameleta nini?
Hao vijana wa Jakaranda kwanza wanafaa kupigwa viboko mbaya sana. Hao
hafai kupigwa viboko Mzalendo. Hao kwa biashara.
Mimi nawaambia
wako biashara mbaya.
Wanakula hii pesa.
Ule mtu wao vijana walikuwa wanaogopa Mzalendo ni mmoja, ni Raila Odinga. Hao vijana waogopi mtu mwingine. Nyinyi watu hata mlete ati Wanga, atakula biashara na nyinyi na wafanye biashara.
Juzi nimeona Mocho wana hawa wakienda kutembelea Gachagua.
Wako biashara na wana pesa. Brother Mzalendo, usicheze na hao vijana, wanatengeneza pesa pale.
Hao jamaa unajua, ndio nakwambia siasa kuna pesa. Kama wale vijana wa Jakaranda wanaunda pesa namna hiyo, kina Gaucho wanahesabu pesa na hakuna biashara wanafanya.
Gaucho hata alitoshereka. Wewe unaona Gaucho kwa hizo mama tunampata ati kwa Jakaranda ama kwa hampati.
Nilikuwa na cousin yangu moja. Cousin yangu, hii ni true story, marehemu, na Mungu amlaze roho yake mahali pema peponi. Huyu jamaa alikuwa na namba zote alikuwa anaitwa Tabu, na mnamjua Tabu. Alikuwa na namba zote za wanasiasa. This guy hakumaliza shule, pengine alifika primary class fulani, but this guy had a photostatic memory, meaning Ben, ukimpatia namba aurudi mara mbili. Bwana, huyo jamaa alinionyesha, na kuna mahali pia alikuwa anaziandika. So unapata ninamwambia Tabu, si unipatie namba ya John Mbadi. Anakwambia 07 bla 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 bla, amemaliza namba. Ukipiga namba bwana inaenda kwa huyo jamaa. Nipatie namba ya Gladys Wanga. Ako nayo. Yaani ako na namba ya wanasiasa. Sasa kabla age nilimwambia boss, ni namba gani ya una? Ya William Ruto peke yake ndio sijapata. Ya Uhuru ndio hii. Na hizo namba anazijua often.
Lakini nimeona Father Dan akiongea kuhusu Gaucho. You know, Gaucho made a lot of money even during the time when there was war between Ruto and Uhuru. Nakumbuka ile wakati walikuwa wanajaribu kuinvade party headquarters za Jubilee. You remember that time when Gaucho was standing tall na Bishana alikuwa mpaka ameleta watu, and then Uhuru came fuming. I think that is Gaucho. From that moment he started creating so much money. Then after there, you know, he came and started supporting William Ruto. I think Gaucho saizi si mtu ati utamuita tu ati vile tu walikuwa vijana wa Chaka. I think also these other guys they are following what Gaucho did.
Ni simu.
Kala, there's a greetings from Kala Cannon. Hi.
Kala, hi, how are you doing? You look great. Thank you for showing your face.
I you know, and unajua hata ukiangalia ona somebody like Simiu, unajua like Simiu bunge la wananchi imemtoa actually is the Secretary General for Safina.
Yeah. By the way, he has a very big party in Safina. He has a very big seat in Safina.
He's the Secretary General, and they also have that podcast that they do. By the way, I'm looking for Kijana Msafi.
Who is that?
Do you know him?
Kijana Msafi tulikuwa na yeye hapa. Si ndio yule tulikuwa tuna yeye hapa?
Yeah.
Tunapiga siasa.
He's coming back.
Mjukuu wa risasi.
No. Kijana Msafi.
There is Kijana Msafi. Yeah, there is Kijana Msafi. I've seen Kijana Msafi.
Kijana Msafi.
The one you are discussing is mjukuu wa risasi.
Yeah, Kijana Msafi anatoka is like a youth leader in Gema. He called himself youth leader in Gema.
I know that Kijana Msafi.
Ananyoaga hivi. Na ni wa UDA.
Paul, Nani has been busy. I saw he's having some function in Germany. That's why I've not gotten a hold.
Anyamambo.
He's having a function.
And Germany. I'm bringing his friend Ondiek too. I'll make sure that I bring Kennedy Ondiek.
Ondiek nani?
Kennedy Ondiek, Honorable Kennedy Ondiek.
Ni Sangwenya. You know, to be an old man like that guy and now ni Sangwenya wa siasa is no good. Hii kitu bana, hii siasa inataka msimamo Ben. Kuwa kama mzalendo. Mimi msimamo yangu
mzalendo mbona warusha mashedi hapa pole.
Mimi upenda watu na msimamo. At least uko na msimamo hata kama ni ujinga kuwa nayo. Wewe usimama na kama unasimama pande ya Gachagua kufa na yeye mpaka mwisho. hata sio kama Jose anaona Gachagua anaenda kuanguka, sasa hiyo bot sasa ametoka.
Hapana, mimi by the way, wacha nikwambie mzalendo, mimi my mindset is always very open. My mindset is very open, brother mzalendo. One thing I did, I was a very strong supporter of Uhuru Kenyatta. And let me tell you one thing that happens. When you have somebody like Gachagua, I came here and told Brother Benson. Brother Benson, I've been talking to you most of the time and telling you, if we have a Gachagua candidate, I cannot support. I've been telling you this time and time again because
unaona
I really don't know in my heart.
Hiyo msimamo yako ndio mzuri. Kama kuwa na candidate wako kufa na yeye. That is the thing. Lakini kesho uko na Uhuru, kesho uko na huyu, kesho uko na huyu. Usikuwe kama hao wanasiasa, kuwa na msimamo unasema.
Lakini sasa unajua watu Brother Benson wako biashara. Unajua they are looking for money. These guys, most of them, they are not even in debt like that.
Umeleta story mzuri. Unajua Gachagua anajua DCP itakuwa na bunge wengi. Na yeye akikuwa kingpin pale Central, akiwa na bunge zaidi ya 80, yeye yuko sawa. Hata
kitu moja mzalendo tunasahau ni what if even Rigathi knows he's going to be won in the 2027 election, but he wants a place where he's going to be able to be welcomed in the government again and given power.
The first person to get into government, William Ruto in 2027 is Rigathi Gachagua. Take that to the bank na utapewa loan. Yeye ndiye ataitwa wa kwanza kuingia kwa kama waziri ama sijui nani, ni Rigathi. But wacha nikwambie, hii siasa iko namna hiyo ndugu yangu bana. Hii siasa ni kuchimbana na hata kuna wengine kuna kuchapwa, wengine pia wanauawa. Hii siasa ya Kenya ni hatari bana. Ukiona mtu anaingia kwa siasa Jose, kuna vitu vingi. Unaenda Ben, ukiingia kwa siasa utapoteza marafiki, kitu ya kwanza. Kitu ya pili, utapoteza mali yako, na ya tatu unaweza poteza hata uhai wako, na ya nne unaweza itaingia mambo ya kisherati, yani mambo ya kishetani hivi, unaweza ingia hata hizo.
Mzalendo, I think what politics in Kenya has metamorphosized is like the European football. Ona ile English Premier League, vile watu wameingia sasa, it is about money. Those players, they play because of money. That is what now has come to Kenyan politics. Before, Kenyan politics was sasa tunataka kufuata mtu. In 2002 you could see people tufuate tuondoe mtu, but right now it's all about money.
Kitu ile sijajua Central, kitu ile sijajua na natamani sana nijue. Huyu Gachagua, is he being followed like a cult leader kama Raila Odinga, ile cultish following?
No. That one I can tell you no. What truly happens?
Then hiyo yake iwezi last.
You know what truly happens? Nilikuja nikaambia mzalendo hapa, na tumekuwa tukiargue na yeye mzalendo about this topic all through. Na nikakwambia if right now Gachagua goes back to government, he can never go with Mount Kenya people to government or Central people. Let's say Central people. He can never go with them to government because they are not going to follow him. You know those guys, they came out of Ruto before even Gachagua came with them. Gachagua in 2024, Gachagua alikuwa bado kwa serikali, alikuwa deputy prime president. Alikuwa bado na machopa na nini. So
unajua kitu inanikasirisha na Wakikuyu, they are not very very articulate in why wanatoka kwa serikali ya William Ruto. They have not been able to convince the other masses. This is the reason why we are coming out of government of William Ruto. Now Gachagua, yeye naye kutoka
nyinyi umeconvince the masses the reason why you are getting into the government.
Mimi?
Have you convinced people why you are getting into the broad-based government?
Nani alikuambia sisi tuko kwa broad-based? Wewe ndio uko kwa broad-based peke yako.
Mzalendo ako ndani kabisa. Ndani.
My friend, mimi bei yangu wawezi bado hajanifikia, pesa hajanifikia. Siku ile atanifikia tawaambia.
By the way, there's something
Mimi
here.
lazima ninunuliwe.
There's something here. One of the people, this is my observation, one of the principles that is going to make the opposition lose is Rigathi Gachagua.
Rigathi Gachagua is strategic, meaning that bila Rigathi Gachagua kuna opposition.
That is something that he has known. And
no, how will they lose? Without him, there is no opposition.
Because
if
this is
Rigathi Gachagua, there's no. Is the only one strategic attacking the government of William Ruto, and that is what Kenyan politics is all about. The only problem with Gachagua is not being backed by strategic opposition leaders who are following whatever he's saying, or who can sit down with him and tell him, okay, fine, you guys, this is your role, cheza hii game, si wewe cheza hii. Unajua wacha nikuambie, hii opposition ya Kenya ijajipanga. Elections zikiitwa saa hii, William Ruto will beat them because hawajajipanga kabisa.
You see, their shortcomings is one. The other day, they came up with, they appointed the spokesperson that is going to be on their secretariat, which should be Mukisa Kitui, Dr. Mukisa Kitui, a brilliant mind and somebody who has mass knowledge on global and mass networking. Very good appointment that they made, but they're not making use of that guy.
Now that is a wrong appointment. Unajua in politics unaangalia mtu ule ana dosari, yani ana scandal. Is this the same guy alipatikana na mwanamke kule Coast kama ni nani? Is the same guy? He was coming to vie for the presidency, akapatikana in a compromising situation na kama fulani huko Mombasa. Hiyo nakuambia, hiyo utapigwa nayo kwa siasa mpaka hata hiyo sura yako huwezi toa kwa screen.
Because like what I'm seeing in opposition is this. I feel there maybe, might be wrong, the people in opposition who have decided they don't want to become president, but they want to make sure that they are working for negotiation. They don't care who is going to become president. And that's where I think Rigathi Gachagua falls. Because if you hear Rigathi Gachagua, everybody should make sure that popularizes his party, and he's so much concentrated on Central Kenya. What he wants is to get as many as members of parliament in Central Kenya as he could, and that one is going to give him higher bargaining power, especially in the next formation of the government, whether it is with President William Ruto, whether it is with opposition. Because tell me, how would you say that in the formation of the government, first of all, you're not running for presidency, but you want 50% of that government? How does it work?
Those utterances, they are not for the public.
Yeah,
you understand the things that he says are not for the public. He doesn't guard his mouth. Even ana speedometer ya mdomo.
Then secondly, he talks about Nairobi being a DCP, and they've agreed with Kalonzo Musyoka. I'm telling you, Kalonzo Musyoka is the only person in the united opposition. Where are you locking people like Matiang'i? Where are you locking people like
what actually I think, even as before we talk about all these issues, I think Rigathi Gachagua is looking for bargaining power. And where do you get the bargaining power? You get the bargaining power when you have most of the MPs in parliament, because this one is post elections. This one always happen post. There is a pre and there is a post. The pre is where you see people joining you so that you can form the coalition and win the election. But what about the post? The post is where you get you initially won the elections, but how are you going to govern this country with a person who has a handful of MPs? You need to register some laws in parliament. So what are you going to do? You're going to bring that bargaining power he's going to have that bargaining power so that he can be given a seat, so that he can bring those MPs, they can be able to give the presidency easier time in passing of this bill. And that's what you saw in 2022. What happened? Ruto wanted to finish Jubilee so that he can be having an bargaining power. And initially, he also got ODM. So that's why you see bills are passed in parliament without even a question.
Sasa angalia, you see now the problem with Gachagua. You see, people like Nikki is asking, can I ask a question? Is Gachagua advocating in central Kenya? In central Kenya, do other leaders from other regions advocate in their own background? The answer is yes. But now this is, Nikki, this is okay. Advocating for your own region, that is okay. But you don't do it loudly so that it looks like tribalism. Now the thing is, when Gachagua is saying that I want positions like this, Nikki, let me tell you why he's saying that. This is not addressed to the opposition, his team, because his team, they can talk in closed doors and decide on this, what we want. Why is he coming out in public to tell us what he really wants? You know why? Because he's telling the opponent that these are my bargaining chip. He's already telling William Ruto, this is what I want from you. He's not talking to Kalonzo. He's telling William Ruto, for me to bring for you these MPs, wewe ukae ukijua nusu ya serikali ni yangu. Na anasema vizuri sana. Problem yangu na Ruto ilikuwa ni hivi. Hatukuingia kwa mkataba, lakini sasa tutaingia kwa mkataba tuandikishane.
And you can clearly see what he said just the other day that if William Ruto wants to meet him, he needs to go to Amanyoro. When you start hearing somebody starting to make those kinds of claims, he's showing that he needs bargaining.
Next year, Wamunyoro, wewe Nikki, William Gachagua will be in State House.
Let me answer Nikki. It is okay for you to advocate for your people, especially, or your region.
Yeah, because Kenya is tribal.
Yeah, and you've I don't know whether you have an opportunity to listen to what Oburu sometimes says in his pressers, or when he's given an opportunity to talk. He talked about our people. When he talked about our people, he talks about the people of the Luo nation. That is our people. But now, where I think Rigathi Gachagua is losing it, and even makes his electability with the influence that he have, is the way he pronounces, or the way he usually acts when he's in public. Sometimes he retracts some of the messages that he gives out. For instance, even recently, he talked about the 16, the position in Nairobi around 16 that are going to disappear. And remember, you have coalition. So in such a scenario, it is you, the coalition, that when you're making those strategies, you should decide on how are we going to do the zoning, because zoning was used last year, and the zoning will be done based on you are using the statistics, and the statistics means that you carry your own pollings, because like all these politicians, sometimes they do carry their own pollings and see where they are doing well, where they are weak, and where each and every party is doing well, weak, and all that. So those are now, when you're in those meetings, then those are now places that you can say, okay, now we are seeing like the seats. So these things will just happen in the public. People will see them happening, but you will not speak about them in the public. That is one. Secondly, the opposition, the united opposition, are missing opportunity, Mzalendo. And the reason why they're missing opportunity? They've not had a reflection of themselves and to evaluate themselves of what happened in the by-election. They've not taken that time and sit together and reevaluate themselves and say that, where did we do wrong? Or where did we miss the point, or where was our point of departure? And how can we now prepare ourselves for the next, which is the next general election? You find that there are still oppositions. Matiang'i will speak his mind, Rigathi Gachagua speak his mind, Kalonzo speaks his mind, and at the end of the day, they're coming up with different messages. That is, thirdly, they don't engage the Gen Z. They don't engage the Gen Z. Both of them, all of them say that they are preferred candidate by the Gen Z. Remember, the only way that you can win this Gen Z is by putting them in the political processes. And how do you put them political? Have a constant conversation with them, because the politics of 2027, it's not going to be an election of 2022. One of the things that is going to lead that election is the power of money. Money will be pouring. And money, ukipatiwa pesa utapata kwamba inaweza badilisha the way you think and the way you vote. Then how are you going to make sure that you engage constant conversation with these young people and tell them, okay, even if you get the money, this is what is at stake. That is the same Gen Z. These are the bloggers that have been hired by those political parties to bring their members down. So to me, when it comes to Rigathi Gachagua, one of the things that he needs right now, first of all, he needs communication team that is going to guide him on what to speak or what not to speak, when to, for at least for the sake of opposition. That is what I think. But if that one is not put in place, it will reach a point, even like the trust that people have in you will diminish based on utterances that you're making in public. To me, that is what I think.
You see, the opposition. I told you the if it reaches December and the opposition have not gotten their act together and they are running in different directions and they all want to be on the ballot, then I think they can just forget about it. William Ruto will beat them hands down. First, you said it very, very clearly. Elections for 2027 is about messaging. Messaging, very, very important. And then finances. But finances come before messaging. If you can get your finances together, make sure that your team is well oiled, because you are dealing with William Ruto, who knows how to campaign. He is not an amateur in campaign. He knows these things, and he is very confident. The way you see William Ruto speaking, and the way you see Kalonzo speaking, and the way you see Kinamatiangi, you can know who is going to be the president and who is not going to be the president. Just from your utterances, it is important to know this is the kind of president I want. So for me, I feel that the opposition, in fact, this guy Rigi G should not speak on behalf of the opposition, although he has a strong voice, but they should get somebody to speak on behalf of the team. How I wish they could bring somebody like Sifuna on board to be on the opposition and give him a platform, and a very powerful platform like the Secretary General of the whole team. Then that will have a lot of meaning for them moving forward. But the way they are, the messaging is not correct. Their consistency in messaging is very, very poor, and they look very unstrategic. Right now, they should have had a media team that their work is just to ensure that the youths are in that particular team. Although, to answer you, Brother Ben, the Gen Zs have since then moved to various political parties. You see, people like Inaka Samuel are in ODM, and people like Njeri Kaiga are in DCP. These are young people who are going to vie for political office, and they have already taken their sides, the political vehicles that uh, they want to vie on. So the young people of Kenya will definitely join other political movements like Wiper, ODM, and UDA respectively. So you will be seeing a lot of them. But look at somebody like Boniface Mwangi, another unserious person. This is somebody who should now be bringing the opposition together and telling them, we led this young generation into this demonstration. This is what they were saying, and how we can bring these young people together so that we have a strong team in 2027 without them having the Gen Z backing in the opposition wing, and Ruto manages to get the Gen Z, then they should just forget about the presidency, because in the coming elections, the young people will be the majority. Forget about me and you who are here who are not Gen Zs. The young people will be the majority in on the ballot. Gachagua has really vet his party members, politicians. There are some traitors amongst them all more already. He should stop gifting them cars. Okay, Gachagua is gifting. No, no, no. Gachagua just need to get his act together. First of all, he's not running for office. He should not pose as somebody who is running for the highest office. He should be propelling uh, somebody like Kalonzo or somebody like Matiangi, Ukombele. They should have now decided that this is the candidate that is going to face William Ruto. And you know why I'm saying this? Because if there is any doubt on Matiangi, by the time we reach the ballot, people would forget. But if you bring the opposition candidate very late in the day, selling him to a presidential candidate who has been campaigning for 5 years, and you bring yours at the last minute for 1 year, you are not making sense. The opposition needs to be serious. You hear people like Safina Party. Safina Party wako na secretary general. Who is their presidential candidate?
Jimmy Wanjige.
Oh, Jimmy Wanjige, huyo ni presidential candidate wa NTV talk show. Morning inaitwa morning nini? Hii program ya
Spice.
Spice.
Spike. Yeah, huyo ni presidential candidate wa Spice. Those are unserious people. I mean, Kenya, please wake up. These guys, they need to be slapped on the face. If the opposition, people like Jimmy Wangigi cannot get together, kina Matiangi, kina Maraga, angalia Maraga mwingine anaenda asubuhi, anaenda SDA on Saturday hata hawezi fanya campaign, hiyo ni siku yake kanisa. Friday na Saturday yeye yuko off, na hizo ndio siku yani kuna siasa kali inafanyika. So these guys, they need to know what is coming, because politics hizo siku mbili, Friday na Saturday, hizo ndio wakati wa siasa.
What I can talk about Maraga. Maraga is a person who wants to bring clean politics, and there have never been had clean politics in Kenya. When you start saying that you are going to start not campaigning and tutakuwa ukiitisha watu pesa za kufanya campaign, my friend, you seem like a joker of the time.
Sasa Wakenya watu wanafikiri, hata wafikiri na akili, wanafikiria na tumbo. We sasa saa ngapi? Kama huko kwetu wewe huko kwetu huko kwetu, yani kabla, brother Ben, do you know if you want to buy in tuseme MCA position huko kwenyu, lazima ukuwe na zaidi ya 10 million kwa account yako. Hiyo ni ya
Kwa nini?
kupeana.
Kwa
Hiyo ni ya
nini?
kupeana tu.
Ikae.
Ati?
Ikae.
Haya, ukitaka kuwa MP ukitaka kuwa MP wewe unaongea juu ya 50 million kwenda mbele.
Mimi sina hiyo.
Na nilisikia brother Benson anatafuta hiyo kiti kidogo. So ataweza kujitafutia milioni 50.
Ukitaka kuwa gavana, unasimama na gavana ule amekuwa kwa kiti, lazima ukuwe na a billion.
And the presidential tujafika presidential, and some people are saying wanataka kuchangia.
Haya, ukitaka kuwa president.
By the way, tunafaa kuwa serious. People need to be serious.
Wewe angalia Jose, kuchukua chopa 2 hours chopa 2 hours peke yake unajua ni pesa ngapi?
Yeah, karibu 600,000, 700. I know.
200,000.
Yeah, because 1 hour is 200, so you get 400, 500 2 hours.
Uzunguke nayo Kenya mzima.
Mimi siko hapo.
Wiki moja hata
brother Benson alikuwa anataka kiti ya MP. Sasa akisikia mambo imekuwa moto sana anasema hayuko hapo. But that is what it is. Watu kama Boniface Mwangi, they are just a joke of the time. You should really
na Boniface Mwangi kwa sababu Boniface Mwangi has been in politics. He understands the game of Kenyan politics. For him to run for office and unless he's being funded, aende tu akimbie, ajaribu kupata umaarufu. But this is somebody I expected that he could be in the opposition, akikalisha hao watu chini, to bring the face of the young people, because first of all he is articulate and he can
one thing I've seen brother Benson with Goodyear ni kama amesha join tutam, labda amemwingisha ile mambo ya tutam.
Okay.
Goodyear just loves a good debate, kama jina yake
Mzalendo. I think it's about that time.
Umefika ile wakati.
Yes, nimefika ile wakati. Naona hata Goodyear alikuja kuchelewa leo, sijui alienda. Boniface Mwangi is a paid ambulance chaser. Discussion on a united opposition tied together. But you know what, Mzalendo? I believe that if opposition, let us not even call them united opposition. They're not united in the first place because they speak different languages, or they drive their own interest. I think if the opposition can come up with very good strategy and the messaging, because like from the look of things, so many things are not working the way they should work, and they should take advantage of that. Take, for example, so many people are complaining about the SHA is not working. People are complaining of high cost of living, all this when it comes to school and all that, they have so many things they're complaining about against the government, because the government of the day, I've never seen whereby government of the day have always been praised. But if they can come with messaging around that and have serious candidates. Look at Okiya Omtata. Okiya Omtata came up, he appointed some 10 people to evaluate and ask people whether he should be running for president or not. Those people have not even given us the result.
Brother Benson, why you like gaslighting? No. But it's true. People like Okiya Omtata, they are very serious individuals, and I don't understand what happens with some of these leaders.
If you look at the panel that Okiya Omtata put their name across, these were not people to joke with. These are intellectuals. These people who are going around to collect data whether Okiya Omtata should run or not to run. It's almost a year.
I think Okiya Omtata presidency could have been a very perfect presidency, but Now the problem is we have too much baggage within ourselves, Brother Benson. Tuko na baggage mingi sana. We talk about finances in campaigns. We talk about tribalism. You know, those are the things that are aching us as a country. We talk about how people talk in politics. You know, in Kenya we don't have a very clear politics. The politics is full of ninataka nikutusi, matusi mingi. We don't even articulate the issues of the country very well. You will see somebody coming with a book like this and he says that is my manifesto. Na hakuna kitu iko huko ndani. It's just somebody has complied very good things but after that even that manifesto is not used. So we have a lot of baggage, but if we can be able to remove all these things and focus in front, we'll have very good candidates like Akina Okiya Mtata as
you see where you know where the problem comes from. The problem comes from our political parties. That's where we have a problem. Because if you look at all our political parties are formed first for revenge. Secondly, for money. Ile tu pesa ambayo utakuwa unapata kwa exchequer. Look at when you even look at the ODM right now, when there was between Kalonzo and Raila.
Men in black.
No, wachana na hiyo. Kuja hata ukiangalia UDA, unajua the UDA, ukiangalia tu the UDA is first function yake kwa list ilikuwa ni kunyorosha Jubilee. Waonjele bwana, nyinyi mulituangaisha Jubilee, tutawaonyesha. Na waliwaonyesha.
It's all about payback. You have analyzed it very well. It's all about payback and interest. Payback and interest. Those are the only and betrayal. That's why you hear betrayal. So when you hear politics, is all about betrayal and interest in Kenya. Those are the two things. There is no other thing even you can summarize.
There's no ideology.
There's no
ideology.
I told you.
Ile hakuna watu
tuliletea kitu inaitwa bottom up, Brother Benson, and some people started to ask questions. What is that? We have never even realized what animal was that till today. Tell me what was bottom up. We have never realized what animal was that. And now we are going to be brought another one in 2027. Now that one will be first world country, and it will be about first world country.
And look at how we elect our leaders. You know, sometimes we elect leaders just because, for instance, a time is coming that in parliament, kwa siku zijazo, watu wenye watakuwa kwa parliament, they will be celebrities. The celebrities wenye wamekuwa popular, watakuwa wale ambao wanapiga kelele pale mingi wakisema wanasema ukweli, wanazungumzia Mkenya wa kawaida, watakuwa pale ambapo ikifika the time to do legislation, some of them will not legislate, some of them will just come, unapatiwa kitu na una sign na inaenda kuenda.
Now, Brother Benson, kabla tumefunga, I can clearly tell you with one statement. What can you tell about Kenyans if you are a person coming from outside? You can only tell about Kenyans with the presidents that they have had. Just go and look at the 5 presidents or the 5 presidents that we have had. It all tells you about Kenyans. It tells you how Kenyans are.
How many, hata ukiongezungumzia, how many musicians au wanamuziki? Unajua, remember there was a time in the Kenyan history whereby the people who are working on the radio talk show were all comedians.
Yeah.
They were not journalists, but they were all comedians. They were doing the entertainment. Which is not bad.
Just na leo ndio nilikuwa nafikiria. Unajua watu hao ma comedians walikaa chini wakafikiria tu do you know how much is to hire somebody like Obina to be the master of ceremony in your function?
No, Obina kadi yake ni mbaya bana. Hawezi.
Haya. ukitaka kuhaya Jalango then kwa kazi yake ya OMC, unajua unampatia pesa ngapi? Do you really know? Ni watu wajui. Hawa jamaa walikaa chini tu wakasema Wakenya wanatupenda hivi. Sasa figa zetu usiende chini ya 300. 300,000.
Mzalendo.
Yani unajua kuna wengine wanakuwa hired hata na 1 million. But I agree, pesa ile wanalipwa pia na huko kwa radio na ile revenue wanaleta ni mingi for radio, but to come for my wedding yani ati na kulipa 500,000 sijui 1 million ati unakuja ati
and then they found a new stream of
and even if we complain about politics, then sisi wenyewe tunanyanya sana sisi wenyewe kwa wenyewe, unajua. Yeah.
And then Mzalendo, another thing they did.
Yeah. Wizi ni yetu tu, sisi ni wezi tu, ama tunangojea wakati wetu wa kuiba.
And you know another thing, Mzalendo, they found out that they can be able to channel the wealth in politics. Just tell me how many of these people who are musicians or TV presenters or radio presenters that we have in parliament today. There are so many. Starting with the likes of Akina Wamuratha, you go to the likes of Akina, and not only in parliament, they're even in MCA level.
That is the power of media. Ignore it at your own peril.
And how will Rigathi Gachagua actually survive if he goes after media? He went after Leto, after Star, after...
He can never survive. He can never survive media confrontation. Media will always win. You have seen even what has happened in the US. Media always paints these guys negative.
You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Bad public. Whatever Gachagua says, those guys, Stars and everybody else will publish it. Bad publicity in politics is a plus. You understand? So you keep on talking about Gachagua. Whether it is negative or positive, we are now talking about him. For the last 1 hour or 30 minutes, we have been talking about Gachagua. We have not even mentioned Kalonzo at any point. How much publicity have we given, whether negative or positive? It is him that people are talking about. Whether negative or positive, it is Ruto people are talking about. That is what politics is all about. People have to talk about you. If they are not talking about you, Maraga, if you are listening, if people are not talking about you, then you don't stand a chance. Look at Okia Mutata. People were talking about him how many months ago? 1 year ago. Okia Mutata was a big thing, and we thought that this is now we've got the guy. But look at what happened. Alienda na kuenda. Hii siasa si mchezo, inakumaliza. Consistency and to sustain the political momentum with the messaging is what Raila Odinga had. And it is what Gachagua is trying. People like Kalonzo Musyoka in messaging is very, very poor. He doesn't have a team that can send out messages. And then there are people who advise him ati akimbie kwa msituni. Ushaona Kalonzo ati anakimbia ati anahaka. Yani I can get him and slap him. Yani unataka tu umpige kakofi ati anakimbia.
Lakini Mzalendo unapenda kuonea Kalonzo sana. Lazima utaweka hiyo mambo ya mti na content creation.
This is somebody that Kenya wako na hope. Unajua? Wako na hope na yeye, lakini angalia vitu anafanya. Ati kamechokea mara kuna umbwa zingine 10 anakimbia anatembea nazo huko sijui wapi. Inaitwa je huko Karen. Who want to see your dogs? I mean, these guys are just dumb. Unajua? They need to get their act together. Mi unajua inanikasirisha because I know the opponent. I know the machine Ruto is. Yani kama Ruto alikuwa anapiga Raila na Uhuru, hands down. Then you tell me with this kind of organization ati mtashinda Ruto wapi?
Hapa ni
I mean,
biashara tu wako. That is business.
Wache ujinga. Unajua in fact hawa jamaa mimi kwanza sasa ndawakimbiza mbaya sana.
Okay.
Let me talk about Nikki. Nikki said something about Jaguar. You know, that can tell you about Kenyans. Unajua Jaguar alikuja akatoimbia wimbo fulani hapo akasema matapeli. Lakini baadaye mnajua kile kilifanyika. So that one tells us more. And you find them still electing these guys. But what Mzalendo is saying is true. Let me tell you, if this united opposition, they are really serious about taking Ruto, they are not going to stop this monkey business they are doing. But so far, I am seeing they are doing business. Hii ni biashara tu wanafanya kama kawaida.
Because nimeona nani?
Wewe Jose, wacha nikuambie.
Nimeona nani? Anaitwa nani?
Kikuyus, wacha niwaambie, kuna kabila ingine pia ng'ombe inaitwa Wakikuyu. Yani yani I just don't know. These guys proximity yao na Nairobi ni hata sijui. They are the farthest point the farthest place Kikuyu is about 3 hours from Nairobi. Hao watu wote wako Nairobi. Even saa zile wanadhulumiwa, hata demonstration moja hawawezi fanya tu. Ng'ombe hata yani hata ni biashara, ati si tunaangalia biashara, tunaangalia pesa. We mtakaliwa kukaliwa raundi hii, hakuna kitu kingine. We angalieni pesa.
Ile kitu mimi najua Mzalendo. One thing I know, there will be all that scenario of Wakikuyu na kukaliwa and all sorts. But one thing I can tell you, the government of William Ruto will not lack having. Na mkuwe very careful, because Luo region can go with Ruto as the presidency waende mpaka naye mwisho. But when Gachagua comes with MPs, those guys will be forgotten the way they did to Rigathi Gachagua. William Ruto will not be given time kwa sababu itakuwa hata time yake ya mwisho.
Yeah, the Luo community don't care. Have you ever heard them talking? They don't care. They don't care whether wataingia kwa serikali. Sisi hapo kwa opposition wamezoea. Wamekaa huko miaka ngapi? Huko ni kwao. Yani you will be taking them back to where they used to be. Yani huko ndio kwanza.
Sasa ndio nakwambia Mzalendo, unarudi tu kwa point yangu. Hivi tunasema ati watakuwa nje ya serikali, hata itakuwa tu hivyo. Itakuwa tu hivi. Watu tu wengine wanarudi opposition.
Saizi wakikuwa kwa Ruto hao ndio wata welcome Gachagua.
Na ndio nakwambia itabidi warudi opposition.
Watakuwa actors wanaambia Gachagua karibu kwa serikali. Karibu.
You know Mzalendo, the funny thing, in this election in 2027, it will be the election where you not have a Luo or a Kikuyu. So they are the ones who are trying to fight for these places wakwe kwa gava. They are not going to be there among the top candidates. So watakuwa kicheza hii michezo ya hapa chini.
Mimi
it will be the first time.
Naomba siku moja hii mdomo ya Wajaluo na Kikuyu iende ikufungwa, wawekwe mahali fulani. Yani Kenya without Kikuyus and Luos can be a very good country.
That Kenya is okay. Joseph and Mzalendo, thank you so much for your time, and everybody on the comment section. I can see today.
Lakini naona Gudi ameingia 2 term. I just say 2 term. Na hii mambo ishe.
Aseme the 2 term.
Lakini 2 term hii mambo ishe.
Okay.
Regene MD na kila mtu ambaye alikuwa katika comment section na wale ambao walikuwa wanatutazama, ningependa kuchukua fursa hii kuwashukuru sana kwa muda ambao umewekeza hapa na kuona na kukua na sisi na mahojiano. Mimi ambaye nilikuwa naendesha hichi kipindi naitwa Brother Benson, na hii ni Brother Benson Media. Vile vile kipindi hichi kilikuwa kinaenda hewani pale Africa 24 ambao inaongozwa na bwana wetu, ndugu yetu Mzalendo. Ukipata nafasi amani. Ukipata nafasi ama Kiswahili na kuchacha nirudi English baba.
Wacha niwaambie umemaliza ndio nimalize show.
So if you're watching us from either Brother Benson Media or Afrique 24, you can also subscribe in those medias, because every Friday, Saturday morning and Sunday morning, we do come here to do the recap of all that took place during the week. This is Brother Benson.
Okay. Brother Ben.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Asante sana. Ama Jose, kuna kitu ungeweza kusema? Mimi
Yeah, just a small thing before you close. Kitu moja tu.
Go ahead.
These 2027 elections will be very good. There's somebody who has given me an idea there. Itakuwa kama ile wakati ya Man U na Arsenal hawapiganii vikombe, tunapata ni Man City. Sasa hii itakuwa ni hiyo wakati ambayo Wakikuyu na Wajaluo watakuwa pale kwa kusema, and it will be very good. To be very good. We are coming out of this, my brothers. We are coming out of this. I'm telling you, tribalism tukimaliza 2032 itakuwa done and dusted. Thank you.
I can't wait for the day the Luos and the Kikuyus will form their own political party. That will be the day that Kenya will change forever. And that brings us to the end of tonight's conversation. Kenya iko katika kipindi cha mabadiliko. Viongozi pia wanabadilika, vyama vinajipanga upya, na mizani ya kisiasa inafanya nini?
Inatisika.
Whatever. But one thing remains constant, the voice of the people, sauti ya wananchi. Ukiwa pale kwa mtandao utafuta Afrique 24, usubscribe. Our duty is simple, kuangazia ukweli, kuhoji serikali ama mamlaka na kusimama upande ya wananchi wa kawaida. So hiyo ndio kazi ile tunafanya hapa kila siku. Sisi tunaongea ukweli. And tonight we have examined the power block, shift alliances, and the weight of leadership in regions that shape the soul of this country. But remember, politics sio mchezo wa viongozi peke yao. Ni mchezo unaoamua bei yako ya unga, bei yako ya sigara kama wewe ni mvutaji, usalama wa familia yako, yani security ya familia yako, na pia karo za watoto wenyu. Isikuwe ni mbunge wako anakulipia karo. Tangu lini mbunge wako hakuwa mzazi wa mtoto wako? Yeye anafaa kuandika bill pale parliament ya kuwezesha serikali ipeane elimu ya bure ya secondary. So sisi tunaangazia hayo, na ukiona kiongozi wowote mwambie kazi yake sio kupeana karo. Kwa hiyo kama raia tunasikia vitu watu wanasema, tuwe maskini sana, tuwe na sauti, tuwe na ujibikaji kulinda nchi yetu dhidi ya ufisadi, ukabila na siasa ambayo itatugawanisha kama Wakenya. Hiyo yote nashukuru sana, na kama wahenga walivyosema, ukweli ukisimama, uongo huenda wapi? Uongo huenda wapi? Ukimbia.
Siku hizi uko na misemo yako mzalendo. Umekuwa mwengaji.
Tonight let the truth stand. I am mzalendo on behalf of the team and Brother Ben here. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and let's meet again in the next podcast. Jose hapana kesa hivyo. Leo tuna game bana. Leo Arsenal tuko mbele.
Okay. Asante sana.
Ni mwengaji mpaka wa mipira.
Mimi ni msema ukweli. Niliwaambiaje? Juzi tulikuwa na Jose. Nipatie maua yangu kama bado niko hai. Nilikwambiaje Chelsea tufanywaje? Niliwaambiaje?
Lakini mimi nilikwambia kuhusu nani Kelon, nilimwambia atulie. Unajua wanasema wako ndani wako nje. Uweze kuwa ndani na mguu mmoja iko nje. Lazima uweke mwili yote ndani.
Arsenal sahii wanacheza kama machine. PlayStation Arsenal. Sisi ni watu wa Arsenal bana. Tunacheza kama
ile maombi tu napitishia ni kwa Goody. Unajua ni wa Liverpool na Liverpool.
Goody ya unajua yeye hata kesho pengine atakuwa anaomboleza, lakini kesho utashinda. Goody ya wacha nikupatie nikupatie habari nzuri. Kesho mnashinda. na mnashinda na mabao zaidi ya 2, msijali. Kesho mtarudi laini.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
tomorrow, do you have a show in the morning? I
Yeah,
wanted to just say that.
Yeah, I will be here tomorrow in the morning.
Okay.
All right. Thank you
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Kwaherini bana.
And may
Tuonane.
God bless you. Hata naona kama Mzalendo